Welcome back to the channel, guys. We have got the Singapore Grand Prix today. We've got 300 people watching already. Thank you everyone for tuning in. And I'm going to keep you as up to date as possible with whatever's going on at the Grand Prix track at Marina Bay. It's currently the rain is getting lighter and lighter as we speak. Previously there was probably like 30 minutes ago there was a thunderstorm, so the track is absolutely soaked, but the rain is easing off. The safety car's driving around, measuring how dry the track is. Can the cars come out? Can they not? So yeah, the safety car now will be exploring the depths of the puddles and stuff, and then the FIA will make a decision. In fact, they are meant to make a decision right now. It is currently 7:45 at Singapore, 7:45, and the FIA said they will give us some information about when the start will happen. I'm looking at the live TV feed now. The rain is still falling, so you can still see the raindrops hitting the ground, but there's nowhere near as heavy as before. The safety car just getting through turn number 14 now. Oh, turn number 13, sorry. And yeah, that's what should be going on. Yeah, let me know what your predictions are in the chat. I will be reading those messages because since the race isn't going to go live for at least 15 minutes, I'll be happy to answer all of your questions. And yeah, look forward to all of you guys listening to today's commentary. Yeah, the Singapore Grand Prix in the rain. The last time that happened, obviously 2017, we had Sebastian Vettel, Kimi Raikkonen and Max Verstappen crash into each other at the start of the race. We'll see what happens today. Also, another thing to update you guys, George Russell is starting from the pit lane. He's going, I don't know exactly what's happened to his car. I will try and find out as soon as possible. But George Russell starting in 20th position. Now, this is a very, very big bonus for George Russell, because once you do start in the pit lane, what you can do is, you can modify your setup. That's the one rule where in qualifying, you've got a certain setup. You've got to stay on that fixed setup all the way till you get to the race and throughout the entire race. But if you start from the pit lane, you're allowed to modify your setup. They replace his engine. All right, thanks for the info. Anand B. Yeah. So George Russell's got a brand new engine, and he's starting from the pit lane, which means he can put on a wet setup. Everyone else will have kind of intermediate, kind of dry conditions of a setup, because yesterday they were predicting today's race is going to be dry. So most of the teams, they went for a dry setup, and yeah, well, it definitely is completely wet today. So George Russell will have a pretty big advantage, but the other thing is he's going to be starting 20th. That means 20 cars of spray in his visors, in his helmet visor. So it's going to be extremely tough for him to get through. I'm just going to throw out a fun fact here. The wet Pirelli tires, they can displace 60 liters of water per second. So if you imagine like a water bottle, like a usual water bottle that you have, that's 1 liter, 60 of them per second. It is absolutely ridiculous how much water those F1 cars can displace in those tires. So yeah, George Russell didn't get a penalty. He got an engine replacement, and that is why he is starting from 20th position. Yeah. All right. So that's what's happened to George Russell. All right, let's see, what have we got? Any more info from the... Oh, it looks like lights out should have been in under a quarter of an hour, but instead there is another 10-minute delay. The rain is certainly easing off, and it's barely spitting now. There's a lot of standing water on the track and the pit lane. So I think what that means is we're going to either get more information in 10 minutes, or that means the race's start is delayed by 10 minutes. I'm not 100% sure, but I will find out. Right, so I'm going to make a poll. Do you think there are going to be a crash on the first lap? Crash on the first lap? Question mark. Let's ask. All right, you guys can go ahead and vote in that. But of course, last time we had wet conditions in Singapore, it was absolutely horrific. So yeah, we'll wait and see. It's currently raining in Singapore. Didn't K-Lang miss Q2 yesterday? I think he must have missed it, but someone else got a penalty. I will try and find out who. But yeah, no, most of the information that was about today's race has all been like swept away by the fact that it's raining. Um, so yeah. All right. Um, let's see. Yeah, 81% of you have voted for yes, there's going to be a crash in the opening lap. Well, you see, now we suspect that there will be a crash because of a mistake. But you've got to also consider that all of these drivers, they know that it's a Singapore Grand Prix. It's one of the toughest Grand Prix of the entire calendar. The race is so physical, especially because of the high humidity. And when it's raining, the humidity, well, it's through the roof, really. So we're just going to see what's going on there, and the drivers, well, they're going to be doing their absolute best to try and not make mistakes. But the thing is, even a tiny little lockup of like even your front inside tire can send you straight into the barriers because we are at a street circuit, of course. So yeah, I mean it's tricky to see what's going to happen, but we will find out soon enough. Right, I'm going to pin a message saying George Russell. Actually, I'm just going to type it. Basically, guys, what's happened to George Russell is that he has got an engine penalty and he's starting from the pit lane. So that's what's happened there. In fact, what I should probably do is just write out a message somewhere. Yeah, right. George Russell has an engine penalty because everyone's going to be asking about this because, yeah, I mean, George Russell had a great quali yesterday. And then, yeah, of course, starting 20th position is a pretty big shock. Right. Let's go. There we are. George Russell has an engine penalty. Okay. So, crash on the first lap, the rest of the race behind the safety car, race cancelled after 3 laps, Ferrari wins. Leclerc wins. Well, that would be a very big breach. I think that might be the only way Ferrari can actually end up winning a race if it's behind the safety car for the entire race. Then no overtakes can happen. I mean, Ferrari may just be having helicopters dumping rain all over the track. Who knows really. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But yeah, the point system after you guys remember. K-Mag in 9th position. I'll try and get a reason why he's in 9th. But I'm pretty sure it's because he was in 10th and then he got promoted up or something. Or it might just be whatever's written on the screen isn't exactly 100% correct. Yeah, I will try and find out. Okay, so race, it's not the helicopters. Yeah. Everyone's starting on old set of tires. Well, I suspect most drivers will be starting on they're going to be starting on full wet tires for sure. If there are a fresh set or an old set, I don't think it has too much of an impact. Mainly, it's just temperature. It doesn't even matter if your tires are old or new, especially at the start of the race. It's just as much temperature as possible is basically what you need. So there we go. Yeah, the FIA has delayed the race by 10 minutes, as far as I can tell. But yeah, we're still not 100% sure. We should get some information soon. And yeah. All right, and the other thing is, so basically all of the drivers, they're going to be like, okay, well, if I don't crash, then all the other drivers are going to crash and we're going to gain 3 positions. And then if every single driver thinks like that, then nobody's actually going to end up having an incident or crashing because they're going to be like, all right, I'll just wait for someone else and gain some free positions. So it's a pretty tricky situation out there in Singapore. So the drivers will be, I think what's more important is just avoiding mistakes rather than even driving fast in these kind of conditions. Firstly, because of budget cap things, if you have a crash and it's kind of at high speed and you break multiple parts of your car, you end up putting like your team at a disadvantage because you've got to replace the entire, like all of the suspension, the front wing, the bodywork and everything. And well, yeah, that costs quite a bit of money. And when you're on a limited amount of budget, that money could be spent elsewhere. And then the other thing, of course, is that, what was I going to say? I just forgot what I was going to say. Don't you just love when that happens? You're about to say something and you just forget. Oh, well. Oh, yeah. So in Spa last year, of course, we had the absolute joke of a race where we had 3 laps behind the safety car and then got awarded 50% points. So the FIA, what they did after that, they revised all of the rules, and yeah, revised all of the rules, and so now there are different points awarded between 0 and 25% of the race. Oh no, between 3 laps and 25% of the race, and between 25% and 50%, and between 50%, 75%, and 75% and 100%. So I can't go through all of the rules right now, but yeah, there will be new rules that get put out, and I'll let you know the respective rule that's actually going to take place and like be used for today's race. Okay, Kieza said this is off topic, but the change in daylight savings. Actually, this is like a really interesting thing that I saw. Once you change like the daylight saving things, I don't know, like not every country has this. So basically, what happens is like 2 times in the year, one time the clocks move forward and one time they move back, just so like sunset and sunrise are like approximately the right time for humans. But what they do is they mess up your sleep cycle because you get like either 1 hour less of sleep or 1 hour more. And if you get 1 hour less sleep, there have actually been like an increased amount of car accidents because people are tired and they don't have enough energy to drive the car to work or whatever, and they have an increased heart attacks because of you get 1 hour less sleep on the day after daylight savings, and then the day when it goes an hour back, so you get an hour extra sleep. Car crashes go down, and so do heart attacks. So, I mean, this is, very off topic, but basically, guys, sleep is important for you. What happened to Russell? He got an engine penalty, so he's starting in 20th position, but he does start from the pit lane, which means he gets a brand new setup, and he can choose, his setup can be completely oriented for the wet conditions, which is going to give him a pretty big advantage when everyone else has a dry setup. If F1 used extreme wets on Monaco 2022 and Spa 20, what would happen? Well, the thing is, right, what I personally think that, Formula One cars, as you know, when they drive in the wet, they spray up so much water in all different directions, and they basically clear the track of water. Once you do like maybe 10 or so laps in wet conditions, and F1 cars driving around, you start to form a dry line. So what I personally think they should do is get all the cars behind the safety car, and just get them to drive around, like on the track, just clearing up all of the standing water, so then they can actually go racing. Because currently the safety car is just driving around the Singapore circuit, and they're just assessing the conditions. But if they got all 20 F1 cars out and they said drive on every single racing line possible and go off, go on weird racing lines as well, and go on like the edge of the track, just clear all the water physically possible off the track, then the track would probably be dry enough for the cars to go racing. But I don't think the FIA is allowed to say that. So there we go. All right, so start procedure will start at 5 minutes past 8, and then the formation lap at, oh my god, that's an hour's delay. That is extremely boring. What do you mean by wet setup? Isn't there one setup for the race? Well, you see the handling characteristics that you want in a dry setup. Most drivers in a dry setup, they can deal with a little bit of oversteer, and if the car's like sliding around a bit, then they can kind of handle it basically. But if they haven't got like a wet setup, when they're in wet conditions, if they have the same setup, that tiny little slide that they have in the dry conditions turns into a massive bunch of oversteer in wet conditions, and you can spin out really easily. So the drivers and the teams have to manage the suspension settings and the downforce settings to ensure like they have like an actual they have a drivable setup in at the Singapore Grand Prix, really. Because wet changes everything, really. Because if you think about it, a Formula One car has only 4 points of contact to the road. Like the entire point of Formula One is a car that goes across a road as fast as possible, and they only have 4 points of contact with the road. Those 4 points of contact, if they're filled with water, it definitely does change a lot of different things. The map can be bigger. Yes, I'll probably change the map depending on. Actually, since we're here and the race is starting in an hour, you guys, it would be great if you could give me some feedback on stuff, because I'm not exactly sure what I should do in terms of some certain stuff, like what will be good for the stream, what won't be. So if you guys could let me know. So this is, let's say, I'm going to close this poll, and I'm going to say, what am I going to say? Option 1 or option 2, right? So option 1 or option 2. So now don't vote just yet. This is option 1 right now, and then if I just refresh this, and then we go, and then this is option 2, like that, and then. So do you guys, basically option 1, the difference between option 1 and 2 is, do you prefer the map being bigger and the timing screen being smaller, or do you prefer the timing screen being bigger and the map being smaller? Yeah, it's not really that important, but well, most of you guys, well, a lot of you guys are here for the data, a lot of you guys are here for the commentary, but yeah, whichever one you prefer, do let me know. So yeah, we've had 85 votes. Most of you prefer option 1, but let me know. What time does it start? It starts in 1 hour, right? So I'm gonna have to reset this countdown timer that I've got. Where has it gone? Here we go. Okay, so race starts in 1 hour. Okay, wet. I'm going to just put wet race start. There we go. In 1 hour. Cool. Right, most of you guys prefer option 1, so I will keep option 1, because yeah, I just thought it makes it a bit easier to read the timings, and the map is still pretty much just the same anyway. So let's go back on that. Let's just zoom this out and then bring that across, make this a bit smaller. Also, we've got some cool transitions here. I don't actually know. I think I can change to this, and it will look at this transition. I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, let's talk about the race. So we've got 3,000 people watching. If you guys could hit the like button, that would very much be appreciated, because we've got an hour's commentary before the race actually starts. So your support would be would mean quite a lot. All right, guys. So so what they're going to do, the drivers are going to go out on track in a couple of minutes. Oh, in fact, in 3 minutes' time, the drivers will go out on track, and they will. Ooh, the thing is, the race actually might not be delayed that long, because what might happen is that because what they're going to do in 3 minutes' time, the drivers will come out of the pit lane and they will go to the grid. So all of the F1 cars will be parked up on their grid positions. So if the rain and the track does dry out quicker than the FIA expect, we could actually have the race starting earlier. So that is something to look forward to. And yeah. This is what happens when the race is in the monsoon season. Well, I think most of us would prefer at least the chance of having a wet race. Well, obviously, when you have too much water, you get stuff like this. But yeah. Can they change any of their setup in this 1 hour? The only thing they can change is the angle of the front wing. And if they do change anything else, then what they do is they go to the back of the grid. Oh no, they start from the pit lane, sorry. Yeah, so if they change any more of their setups, anything other than their front wing angle, then they will start from the pit lane. So yeah, I guess that's a risk you want to, if you like, that's a gamble that you want to take. I mean, if you know that your setup is completely dry oriented, then yeah, it might be worth going over to the pit lane and go to a dry setup. But yeah. Oh, also Arnand B, keep up the good work. Thanks very much. To appreciate the donation to New Zealand dollars. But yeah, nevertheless, absolutely wonderful. So thank you for the donation. And yeah, who do you think is going to win today? I mean, it's pretty hard to say really, but I think we could probably see Leclerc winning. Mainly, I'm only saying Leclerc because of the fact that once you're in wet conditions, the fact that if you have no spray in front of you, that is a huge advantage. So yeah, Charles Leclerc has the biggest advantage over all of the other drivers because he is starting in first position, and yeah, that should definitely help him out. All right, is it still raining in Singapore? The rain has stopped, so it's no longer raining anymore. But what they're doing now is they're waiting for the track to dry up a bit, let the gutters carry the water away. So by the time the F1 cars go out on track, it's not too wet. Oh, sorry, pit lane opens at pit lane opens in 20 minutes time. Okay, so yeah, in 20 minutes time, the drivers will come out of the pit lane and they'll go to the starting grid. But yeah. That is that. Yeah, all right. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about Formula One, about anything Formula One, because I guess I know quite a bit about Formula One. So if you have any questions, then be sure to let me know. I'll try my best to answer them, and we could probably do some. What could we do? We could do some Formula One quizzes in the meanwhile. But yeah, when do you think the GP will start, and when Norris will finish? You think? Well, Norris is starting in sixth position, and the Grand Prix is going to start in 53 minutes. Well, actually, it's going to start. I should probably change the timer because it's actually changing in 5 minutes. There we go. Okay, it's starting in 58 minutes, to be precise. But yeah, okay, we could definitely do some quizzes. Right. Well, I'm gonna have to find an F1 quiz first. So, let's see. Ooh, right. Don't actually know. F1 quiz. Yeah, all right, let's do this. F1 Formula One World Champions. Well, Sebastian Vettel knows all of them, so let's do this quiz, guys. I will try and get this all up on screen so it actually fits. Right. So we've got 72 Formula One World Champions, and I guess let's start. Just type these stuff in chat, guys. And yeah, so let's go. I think the first one was Fariner, because I remember that from Vettel's thing. Vettel, Hamilton, Schumacher, Senna, Prost. Let's see. Verstappen, of course. Yeah, Verstappen. Rosberg. Hill, Villeneuve. Oh, I'm so bad at these spellings. Yeah, I don't know how to spell Villeneuve, so let's just ignore that. Webber. I don't think Webber won a championship. No, Webber didn't win a championship. Alonso, yep. Let's see, who won 2007? Raikkonen. 2009 was Jenson Button. 1999 with McLaren was Hakkinen. 1997 with Williams. Fangio, of course, yeah. Lauda, yeah. Who won 1997? Ooh. Brabham. Yeah, I think Brabham won a championship. Did McLaren win a championship? As in, like, the Bruce McLaren? I don't think, maybe not. All right. I should probably scroll down a bit so you guys can see it a bit better. There we go. Who else is there? Denny. Yes. Right. Well, we're getting pretty. We've got all of the ones till 1998. PK. Yeah. Ascari. Yeah. Ooh, Hill. We've already got Hill, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Mm, Fittipaldi, yeah, but I need to know how to spell Fittipaldi now. Oh, got it. Lovely. Nigel Mansell, yes. Mansell. 1997. Who won in 1997? It must have been like, I don't even know. Stuart Andretti. Stuart Andretti. Jody Scheckter. Oh no, the chat's scrolling too fast. I don't know how to spell Scheckter. I think I've spelled it right, but yeah, it's not. Jody Scheckter didn't win the championship. Villeneuve was 97. Okay, right. Well, I just can't spell Villeneuve then. Villeneuve. I just don't know how to spell Villeneuve. This is not great. Oh, Clark. Yeah, Clark. If someone could tell me the correct spelling of Villeneuve, that would be wonderful. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you, who sent that? The Sabas, thank you for the spelling. Let's see if it is correct. Oh, there we go. Villeneuve won in 97. Okay, so 1980, 1979. Jones, did Jones win? I don't. Oh, there we go. Alan Jones won in 1980. Who won with Ferrari in 1997? Only got five left actually. 1958, 1964, 1970, 1997, and 1976. Hunt, yep, Hunt. Damon, we've already got Damon Hill. We've got all of the hills. Like if you type in Hill once, it puts everyone in. Oh, I should probably type a message. Okay, so race start. Race is delayed. Timer at top right is. Okay, well, I'm going to type Scheckter again, but I don't know how to. I don't know if that's the right spelling or not. Oh, there we go. Jody Scheckter. Right, there we go. So who's left? Got 1970, 1964, and 1958. We've already got Raikkonen, Rosberg, Hawthorne. Hawthorne. Right, so yeah, 1964 Formula One World Champion, 1970. Oh, Rindt, yes, Jochen Rindt. So there we go. And just 1964 now. Who is that? We've already got Fangio. Yeah. Also, guys, a little bit of an update. Yeah, the race is still just going to start in. It's going to start in 52 minutes. So yeah, not much else going on. The marshals are all working away, sweeping all of the water. And yeah, so I think the last one is John Surtees, who sent that message. The Sabas once again coming in clutch. And Julian Cole has also said that as well. Yeah, now everyone else has typed it. Lovely. Thank you for all your help, guys. Yeah, we got 100%, so that's great. Right, let's do another one. Formula One most races. Sure. Let's do this. So the drivers that have done the most races in Formula One history. This quiz is slightly outdated because if Fernando Alonso starts today's race, he will actually overtake Kimi Raikkonen's record of 349. And oh no, yeah, Kimi Raikkonen's record is 349, and then Alonso will have 350. So yeah, it's Raikkonen, Alonso, Hamilton, Vettel, Schumacher, Rosberg. I think Rosberg was in for a long time. Yeah. A Brazilian driver of Senna. No, not Senna. Oh, Fangio wasn't Brazilian, was he? Barrichello. Yeah, Barrichello. Barrich, Prost. Another United Kingdom. Which other? Jenson Button, maybe? Yeah, Jenson Button. So we've got Brazil, two Italian drivers. Was Ascari? I don't think Ascari would have been able to race for that long. Massa. Yeah, that's right. Two Italians. Ooh. Johan Rinkt, did he race for that long? I mean, oh, it could be either Rinkt or Lauda. Yeah, Lauda. No, none of the ones for Austria, and Australia. Patrese. Yep, Patrese is 256 race starts. Let's see who else. I don't know how to say that, so I'm just not going to say it. Also, I should probably shout you guys out for who's giving me the answer. So GM Racing, thank you for thank you for saying Patrese. Desmos 174, thanks for Weber. And then we've got David Coulthard, maybe. David Coulthard, thank you for that. Legend League. Stuart. No, Stuart isn't one. Berger from Austria, thank you for that. Ludrino Le Dragon. And then no, Senna's not on this list, guys. All right. I don't think Ricciardo's on the list yet because there's no more Australians. So there's an Italian, another Italian, a Brazilian, a French person, and another Italian. So that's what four Italians left. Ricciardo. We've already got an Australian driver, so Ricciardo. It's not Ricciardo. Right. Well, I mean, if this is correct, then Fittipaldi, yes. You guys are absolutely amazing with this F1 knowledge. Fisichella, right? I need to know how to spell this right. Fisichella. I don't know if that's how you spell it. Fisichella. Oh, there's no H. Yeah, there we go. Giancarlo Fisichella has got 229 race starts. 48 minutes till the race is live, guys. Truly. Loads of you guys actually said that. Casper 999, GM Racing. Alright. Let's see who else is there. PK. Yep, Nelson PK. Okay. So we've got one French person and two Italian people. Play Guess the Track. I will do Guess the Track. Probably could do a GeoGuessr Guess the Track as well. Alboreto. Andretti. I think Andretti is more likely to be right. Oh, no, apparently not. Prost? Have I not said Prost? Yeah, I thought I did. I mean, the thing is, Prost was racing in the... Oh, yeah, Prost is there with 199 race starts. Felipe... It could be... We've already got Massa, Farina, Ascari. I mean, these guys were racing right at the start of Formula One. They were definitely not healthy enough to... or fit enough to race. So Grosjean, right, well, I can put Grosjean, but has Grosjean really got that many race starts? No, he hasn't. Decisares? Right, well, I think what we're going to do is... I think what we'll do is just give up and then we'll find out what they are. So it was... Oh, someone said that. Who said that? Andre Neubauer said that. I just can't type, so I apologize for that. And John Alesi was the other Frenchman who has got 201 race starts. Right, cool. Is there a Formula One circuit matchup? Here we go. All right. Oh, well, this isn't that bad, really. Albert Park is for Australia. What do you do? Like, click them together. Yeah, Autodromo, that's Italy. Interlagos is Brazil. This isn't the most exciting quiz, to be honest. Yeah, let's not do this. That's pretty straightforward. What else is there? F1 circuit locations. That's a 2016 Grand Prix. Let's see. What other quiz do you want to do? Guys, it literally says at the top right of the screen, the race starts in 45 minutes. So there we go. What I'm going to do is we'll do guess the race winners, but I think on another tab, what I'll do is open up GeoGuessr, and then we can have a go on there and do F1 tracks on GeoGuessr because that is pretty fun. So let's just have a look. I don't want to sign up right now. This is kind of annoying. Right, give me like 2 seconds, guys. I'm going to sign up to GeoGuessr and then we'll do an F1 quiz thing. And then after that, we'll guess all of the. Oh, it's making me do a GeoGuessr tutorial. I don't want to do that right now. GeoGuessr, just let me play GeoGuessr. Don't make me do a tutorial. Okay. Right, where do you search for? Right, you know what? I'll just bring it over here. Then you guys can tell me what to do. Actually, right. Let's just do that. So where do we play? Do we search F1 tracks? F1. If we search that, does it just come up? Oh no, that's just search someone's name up. Everything Formula One. There we go. All right. So let's have a play. Let's go. Why is it making me do the tutorial? Oh, thanks, GeoGuessr. Yeah, we're just gonna guess that. Cool. Oh, it's actually quite close to Australia. It's in Sydney. Got it. Right, let's guess the F1 track now. Everything F1. I don't know exactly which one it is. Yeah, sure. Let's play this. Single player. Cool. Okay. So, well, to me, this looks like it's a 6-hour race. I can't read that, but someone in the chat can. Then yeah. I presume that's going to be FIA WEC. Right, well, if we actually go over, can we move around? Oh, it doesn't even let us move around. That is not great. Does this say 6 hours of something? 2015, it's Shanghai. Okay. So let's make this a bit bigger. Can you guys see that? Right, let's just get rid of this over here and this and just bring that all over to the edge. We'll get this. It's Fuji or China, right? Well, some of you guys are saying China, some of you guys are saying Fuji. So I'm gonna need some confirmation here, guys. If I don't know where the racetrack is in Shanghai, so I mean I presume it'll be somewhere in a green place because yeah, you're not gonna have a racetrack in the middle of the city, but it's China. Okay, right. It's been delayed due to weather. Yeah, it's. Well, I have no idea where this track is, so you guys are gonna have to let me know. Find out where, yeah, where to look. It's in Shanghai, upper left corner. There is literally the track. Like upper left corner of Shanghai, like here. I mean, this looks very central. It's definitely Shanghai. It says at the top left of the photo, does it? Oh yeah, it definitely says Shanghai. Oh yeah, you guys are. That's true. So now we've just got to find where Shanghai is. It's above the river. Okay. Usually the F1 track is like marked out, so yeah. Hopefully we can see it, but I don't know. I think what we might do is I think we'll just guess somewhere over here. Because yeah, it's gonna take absolutely ages to find it. Okay, well it was below the river, so There we go. It's actually right in central Shanghai. So yeah, this is the not Singapore, the Chinese Grand Prix track. Okay. Oh well, this looks rather familiar, doesn't it? I think it's Monza, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. Um, so I actually don't know. Ooh, I think it's in. Oh no, this is where the Imola track is. I don't actually know where Monza is in Italy. Right. Well, guys, where is Monza in Italy? San Marino is where Italy is, where Imola is. I know that. I think maybe it's here. Monza is near Milan. Okay, right. Well, Milan's a pretty big city, so there we go. Oh, there's Monza. You'd love to see it. Right, where's the racetrack now? There we go. And we're at turn number 1, as far as I can tell, on this. Yeah, it looks to be turn. Oh no, is this turn number 1? Or is this turn number 2? Oh, it's probably. Yeah, no, it's turn 1. Um, okay, so turn number 1 over here. Let's just reset this back to return to start. So this guy's on the apex of turn number 2, so like here. Come on, let's see if we got it right. Oh, we were 8 yards off. Right, cool. Next location. This is the Red Bull Ring, I think. Yeah, Red Bull Ring. Okay, cool. So that's in Austria. It's in the what mountains is it in? It's in Spielberg, right? Spielberg. There we go. Right. Um, so where's the Formula One track? If it's in Spielberg. Oh, Red Bull Ring. There we go. And the person is like halfway down the start finish straight. Oh, look, it actually says there's the 150-meter board. So we're probably 250 meters off turn 1. So like here. Pretty close. Pretty close. All right. Well, this is Silverstone, isn't it? So I think this is before Copse Corner. So, right. We are here. And I think... where is Towcester? Because I know it's in Towcester. It's near Milton Keynes. Towcester's over here. Right. So now where's Silverstone? This is... I mean, I think it's in Towcester. Pit lane is open. Cool. Oh, actually, yeah, there we go. Drivers now just coming out on track. So yeah, they're just coming to the start-finish line now. They'll be clearing up some water in the process, and then they'll just be parked up on the... and then they'll just park up at the start of the grid, and yeah, that'll be that. So that's a quick little update for you guys. I'll probably just leave this somewhere in the top left corner over here. And yeah, once we get closer to the race actually starting, I'll go back to the usual setup. Right, so if this is Towcester, where is Silverstone? I have next to no idea. We could just guess somewhere over here, but it's near Copse. There's a bike starting grid. This is Milton Keynes. I know the Red Bull factory is like 20 minutes away from Silverstone, and it says Silverstone here. Lovely. Well, it says Silverstone, but where's the actual track? Ah, right. So this is Luffield. Yeah, we're like here, I think. Yeah, 84 yards away. You're 5. Right, well, I guess that's it. GeoGuessr, you can go away now. And now we're going to guess all of the F1 World Champions. Okay, so let's go. Race winners. We have got Lewis Hamilton. Michael Schumacher. Oh my god, I can't type. Schumacher. Vettel. Then from France we have Prost, and then from Brazil we have Senna, and then from Spain we have Alonso, and then England. Probably Button, maybe? No, Button's far down. Who's further up? Mansell. Yeah, okay, so all of the drivers that have stars next to them are still driving in Formula One. From Scotland. Ooh. Ben Lauder. Actually, I might just type a bunch of F1 names and just hope for the best. We've got Ocon who's won a race. We have Gasly. Who else has won races? We've got God, this is so Kubica. Robert Kubica. Perez has won races. We have Russell. Has Russell won a race? Oh no. Oh well, it's probably not been updated actually. Raikkonen. What else? Well, who else really? Maldonado. Stewart. Lazy. Vill. Oh, I can't spell Villeneuve. I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to learn that spelling. Hakkinen, yeah, Hakkinen. Ricciardo. Trulli, Fisichella, Berger, Irvine. Trulli, Fisichella. I don't know how to spell his name. Fisichella, Berger, Irvine, Bottas. What else? Who else is there? Have I got Rosberg? Montoya. 33 minutes till the race starts. Oh my god. Clark. Webber. Yeah, Webber definitely won races. Hill. Hill actually. Phil Hill, Graham Hill, Damon Hill, Coulthard. Yep. PK. Fran, apparently. Barrichello. Did I type Barrichello or Frenzen? Yeah, drivers still just going around the pit lane, going around the track for before the formation lap actually begins. So there we go. Not that much going on. Perez definitely has a win, but it's not on the thing yet because this was made in like 2019, I think. Massa, yeah, Fittipaldi, Leclerc, of course. Who else do we have? De Carlos Sainz. Christian Clean. Apparently not. Yeah. James Hunt, Jim Clark. I think I've already got Clark. Got Hakkinen. All right. We're 30 minutes away from the race starting. I'm probably going to try and get some more information about what's going on. Okay, so we've got some good news. The track hasn't dried out completely, but it looks to be like we will actually go racing. The pit lane is opened. Drivers are now heading out. We've got some team radio from Max Verstappen. Let's just have a listen.
They sent the car out here at Haas while we are all waiting.
You were there first, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's just stuff that's going on in the pit lane. Right. Okay, so what I'll do is we'll just stop for now because yeah. Let's go back to the race. There's no need to do. Well, I mean, I think we've had enough fun doing quizzes and stuff, I guess. So let's just put this back where it was before. All right, yeah, the drivers now just lining up at the grid position. We've got Alonso, Norris, Leclerc all queued up, and yeah, we should be good to go for some racing. All right. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We're going back to racing now. What tires are they on so far? Well, I'll try and see if we can actually find out. Um, Also, I don't know why it says 21 laps. It's not been 21 laps. Yeah, the tires. This is from yesterday's qualifying session. So yeah, we haven't got the new updated tire information yet. Oh, also, guys, we're getting pretty close to hitting 45,000 subscribers. And also, if you haven't hit the like button as well, that'd very much be appreciated. We've got half an hour till the race starts. We're probably going to get some more viewers coming in. And if you hit the like button, that's only going to increase that. So that'd very much be appreciated. Yeah, all right. So let's see if we have any more information from the FIA. But yeah. All right. Also, Fernando Alonso is celebrating his 350th race start today. So, yeah. So I guess yeah, Fernando Alonso will now currently take the record of the most ever Formula One races from like that you've started. Also, just an update on George Russell. He is starting from the pit lane, and let me just check which engine components that they've. So Mercedes have got a new internal combustion engine, turbocharger, MGUH, MGUK, energy stall, and control electronics for George Russell's car. George Russell had brake issues in qualifying, so that's why he couldn't match Lewis Hamilton or get close to him. And yeah, how long is the pit lane? Well, I will try and find out how long is the pit lane in a second. I mean, it doesn't really matter how long it is. It mainly matters how long it takes to drive down the pit lane. And normally, on green flag conditions, it takes 28 seconds, I think. Yeah, 28 seconds to drive through the pit lane. So a very long pit lane indeed here at Singapore. And because it's a street circuit, the pit lane and the pit box and everything are all narrowed together. And that means the FIA has to put a lower speed limit on the cars. And because of the lower speed limit, it takes longer to drive through the pit lane. So 28 seconds driving through the pit lane in normal conditions. So it is not ideal to do a two-stop race. But when you are in wet conditions, that might just be the way forward to go. And yeah. All right. I'm going to get some water because, well, yeah, I'm just going to go get my water bottle because I've been talking for a bit. And you guys should also hydrate because hydration is very important. How is Zhou just put on track? Not exactly sure. I think he's on track. Everyone's lined up now at the grid, and they're all getting ready to go. So yeah. All right. So who do you think will win? I mean, it's extremely tough to say, but I'd say the driver that has the highest chance is probably Charles Leclerc. Since he is at the front, of course, that's going to mean as little spray as possible. And yeah, just going to help him out. George Russell is starting from the pit lane. That is correct. Because he got all of those new engine components after yesterday's qualifying, where he suffered a brake issue. He broke the parc fermé regulations, which means he will have to start from the pit lane. All right. Um, which side has more grip? All of the drivers on the. Well, to be honest, there's no point talking about which side has more grip because the rain gets rid of all of the track evolution. So yeah, the right side of the grid will have slightly more grip than the left side of the grid, but it's pretty much negligible. So it won't have much impact whatsoever. Yeah. Oh, okay. Pirot, Pirot. Thanks for letting me know about the news thing at the bottom. I will have a. I'll change it. I guess I typed it up pretty quickly. Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah, I've changed it so it's faster now, not Fiesta or Fiesta. Um, yeah, Seb's last win was the Singapore Grand Prix. I think it might just be his last ever win with him retiring this year. I mean, it would be great if he could this win it this time. But yeah, the youngest F1 driver. Well, I guess it'd have to be Max Verstappen because he was what 17 when he started driving. So on the current grid, it's Sonoda, but the youngest ever, I guess, was Max Verstappen when he was 17. So yeah. I mean, you never know. Seb Vettel has got a very good track record around Singapore. There are only four people that have ever won the Singapore Grand Prix: Lewis Hamilton, Nico Rosberg, Sebastian Vettel, or Fernando Alonso. Um, so yeah, Vettel, of course, won with Red Bull, won with Ferrari, won with oh no, yeah, won with Red Bull, won with Ferrari. Hopefully, he can go on to win with Aston Martin. Well, not really. Hopefully, it'll be an absolute miracle if Vettel goes to win the Singapore Grand Prix with Aston Martin today. But if it, well, I'm hoping for that miracle to happen though. Yeah. How do they even see through their helmets? Yeah, see that's the trick. They don't. They're just so skillful that they know basically which part of the track they're at, and then they can kind of tell with the little bit of information that they can actually see with their eyes, like where they are on track, where the puddles are, where not to go, where to go. And yeah, oh, and also the other thing is that they have those bright red lights flashing on the back of the cars to say that, well, yeah, look at me, I'm a car, don't crash into me. That definitely helps out when you're racing in the wet as well. Why have you put it as 21 out of 61 laps? It's not 21 out of 61. I could probably get rid of it to be honest. Um, yeah, there we go. Just dash out of 61. The race will start soon enough, and yeah. All right, let me know what your predictions are in the chat. Look forward to reading them, and yeah. Shows a part of the race like 10 seconds. Well, thing is, if I show you part of the race, I will get copyrighted, and there are people that are showing you part of the race, and they're probably breaking a bunch of rules, and they don't get copyrighted because YouTube system is like kind of half broken. But yeah, nevertheless, that is yeah. What is the rain situation? So the rain is completely stopped. The marshals are sweeping away the water as we speak. Actually, yeah, I think they're sweeping away the water as we speak right now. They definitely were half an hour ago, and yeah, we will be going racing in 20 minutes. Also, another thing to consider when we go from intermediate tyres to dry tyres, which may occur in this race because Formula One cars are excellent vacuum cleaners um, for water. The crossover lap time is a 1 minute 52. Once you get to a 1 minute 52 on a lap time, then your slick tires and your intermediate tires can basically do the same lap time. So that's the tires that that's the time when teams should expect to switch over from the inters to the wet to the dries. But yeah, that's still quite a ways away, and yeah. Yeah, Charles can definitely win here. But thing is, in 2019, he was actually leading the race. But then in the pit stops, Vettel got ahead. Um, I don't know exactly why they did that. Well, to be honest, it wasn't even that. It wasn't even Leclerc's fault. It was just Vettel had an outlap where he went 4 seconds faster than Leclerc. So yeah, he absolutely just dominated the outlap, and then yeah, Leclerc could basically do nothing against it. And yeah, by the accent, are you British? Yes, that would be true. Yeah. All the drivers are expected to either start on the inters or the wets, but by the looks of it, they will start out on the wet tyres just to play it safe. Some drivers may take the risk and be like, okay, for the first couple of laps, I'm just going to drive slowly on the inters, and then after that, I will be able to drive fast. Unfortunately, guys, watching F1 for free is well, it's extremely difficult. The only time in England that you get to watch the race for free is at the Silverstone Grand Prix is when it's broadcast across the UK for free. And apart from that, I think Turkey or Greece, I'm not sure which country, but one of the two countries those are the only two countries where you can get Formula One for free. Other than that, yeah, you've got to find some place on the internet, I guess, if you want to do that. Have you ever seen Leclerc's pole to win ratio? I've seen it, and yeah, it's not great. I think that's what happens when you work at Ferrari. Getting pole positions not too bad, but getting any sort of strategy done is absolutely horrific indeed. If the race starts, will you have those points moving on the track? Yes, I will. Um, yeah. The best wet driver on the grid right now, I would have to say Max Verstappen. Not only, well, I guess I'd say Max Verstappen, but then the thing is, Lewis Hamilton is a very competent wet driver, pretty much on par with Verstappen. But the issue is the Mercedes engine. Um, so basically, when the driver, how this works is the driver they press down on the accelerator pedal and they expect a certain amount of acceleration to come out from the engine, and that amount of acceleration that they get out of the engine needs to be predictable. It needs to be consistent. Um, so then they can actually drive around at like fast speeds with enough confidence in the car that the engine isn't going to suddenly just give them a lot more power and they're going to spin out or anything. So the thing with the Red Bull car and the Honda engines more specifically is that their drivability, so the consistency that you get whenever you press the throttle pedal at a certain amount in a certain gear at a certain RPM, it's very consistent. So the acceleration that Max Verstappen gets out coming out of a corner or something, he knows that it's going to be that. So when he comes out of a corner, he knows that, okay, I'll press like 50% throttle and I won't spin out. Whereas for Lewis Hamilton, it's really not that consistent for the Mercedes engine. George Russell was struggling, so was Lewis Hamilton. And that might be due to the Mercedes car, it might be due to their engine as well, or it could be a mix of the two. But yeah, the Mercedes car looks absolutely horrific in wet conditions. So they're going to have to find something to do. Russell is going to have a wet setup put on, so maybe that's the difference that they needed. They needed a full wet setup if they are going to have any sort of stability in wet conditions. Otherwise, it will just very much be tiptoeing around for the entire race. And yeah. How do you know the race will start in 15 minutes? It's because the FIA said so. So yeah. Ashwin asks Lewis or Vettel. Well, I'm a Vettel fan, so I guess I'd say Vettel. Yeah. Make the map slightly bigger. Right. Well, I'm gonna do my best here because it is very much a balancing act between people who want the map slightly bigger and people who want the data as well. So I'm probably just gonna that's probably the best I can do. Yeah. Thing is, if I make the data too small, the font becomes too small to read on phones. So I've got to be careful. So the people that are watching on the phone on their phones, they can actually see all of the timing information. But then, of course, yeah, you want the map to be as big as possible because that's mostly where all of the action is going on. Um, yeah. Which circuit in Singapore? Which circuit in Singapore most similar to? It's probably going to be Monaco. Monaco is probably the most similar circuit that I could think of to Singapore. Street circuit around a bay, and lots of tight, twisty corners. I guess Monaco has slightly some more high-speed corners than Singapore. Singapore only has the final two corners that are kind of high speed. Monaco has the swimming pool chicane, of course. Um, and I guess also the entry to the chicane afterwards. I'm not sure what the name is, but yeah. How do you like driving around Singapore in the game? In fact, I think Singapore's quite fun to drive, to be honest, but it gets a bit clumsy because I don't think the game is 100% accurate to what the street circuit's like. So driving around is a bit awkward sometimes. But yeah, when will the race start? Well, guys, it says at the top right, wet race starts in 13 minutes and 15 seconds. So, yeah, Ocon had brake issues, so did George Russell. Yeah, so there's not really much else to say, and that's why. Also, we're getting very, very close to 4,500, 45,000 subs, sorry. So yeah, go ahead and subscribe. That would very much be appreciated. Definitely does help out the channel. During the race, can you rotate through some of the other information, not just leave it on tires? Yeah, sure. I could probably. I can put it on auto and it switches around. But yeah, most of the time, tires are probably the most important fact that we've got. So that's why I usually leave it on that. But I'll have a flick through every once in a while. What's George Russell's engine penalty for? He got internal combustion. Basically, every single component in his engine, he just got a full replacement for it. Yeah. Jacob Yong Han, uh, thank you everyone for making this. Really appreciate it. Well, all of you guys are absolute legends as well for watching. I mean, we've got nearly 3,000 people watching. That is absolutely ridiculous. Um, yeah. So thank you everyone for tuning in as well. Who are you supporting in McLaren versus Alpine? McLaren is doing well considering they only have one driver. Well, yeah, that's a pretty big knock to Daniel Ricciardo. But if we look at the standings, Daniel Ricciardo has scored 19 points and Lando Norris has scored 88. That's, well, yeah, nearly four times, well, more than four times, in fact. Um, so, yeah, fair enough there. I think Alpine definitely does have the stronger car, but of course, McLaren have got Lando Norris. The gap between the two teams is currently sitting at 18 points, with Alpine being the higher of the two. And I think Alpine will be able to just stay ahead of Lando Norris. I'm not particularly supporting anyone, but I definitely think Alpine have the potential to stay ahead. So there we go. Are you going to any F1 races next year? Um, I am not, but if you guys are, then do let me know in the chat. That would very much be appreciated. Cool to see which one of you guys are attending. Well, yeah, attending F1 races because, yeah. All right, we are 10 minutes away now from the race starting. I've got kind of tired, in fact. Um, I don't know how long has this stream been going on? Like an hour and something minutes. I'm not sure. Um, but yeah, slightly tired. Right. Who am I supporting? I'm supporting Sebastian Vettel, and yeah, so that's who I'm supporting really, and yeah. God, I've really run out of things to say. Really, I don't know. What's my opinion on Alex Albon? Well, Alex Albon has done an absolutely solid job of recovering from appendicitis. He had appendicitis, and then I think something went wrong during the thing, and he had like a complete respiratory failure. Um, so yeah, Alex Albon doing an absolutely amazing job to recover back in time for the Singapore Grand Prix. And the thing is, Singapore Grand Prix, one of the most intense races of the season in terms of physical fitness. So he's very much on his game, and we'll see what he can do. Yeah. Right. Oh, also one thing, I need to plug in my laptop's charger, otherwise it will run out of charge. So let me just do that 1 second. Right, there we go. That's done. Are you aware of the budget cap allegations? Yes, I am aware of the budget cap allegations, but it's also not to say. The thing is, with the budget cap, I don't know how anyone would have got that information because the FIA still didn't finish they didn't finish working out Red Bull's accounts themselves. So if if the FIA didn't work them out, then who has got the information to say, oh, Red Bull spent more money than they were allowed? So yeah, a bit weird. And yeah, are you streaming on a laptop? Yeah. How much time is left till the start? Well, 7 minutes and 54 seconds. Yeah. All right. Thank you. You reminded me to charge my laptop. Right. Well, there you go. I guess a reminder to charge your laptop. So, 7 minutes now till the race goes live. I'm going to take you through a lap of Singapore because, yeah, very tight and twisty circuit. There are 23 corners, a 5 kilometer long circuit. So, going down the start finish straight, that's one of 3 DRS zones. And you get to turn number 1, you brake around the 100 meter mark. The main thing about turn number 1 is you want to just carry the speed through that corner because the next main hurdle is just staying within track limits of turn number 2. You stay within track limits of turn number 2 after carrying a lot of speed through turn number 1. You are doing a great job there for the first few corners. And then at turn 3, what you need to do is get a late apex because once you get that, you can get a good exit down the straight towards turn number 4. And yeah, it really does help out with the rotation and everything as well. It makes it a lot less awkward to drive around that corner if you take a late apex. So most drivers do that, and then once they're at turn number 4, turn number 4 is basically just a little kink in the road, sorry, and then you get to turn number 5, which is probably one of the most important corners to get a good exit out of. You brake as far left as possible, and then you hit the apex early, and just try and get as much speed through that corner because then you come out onto the second DRS zone of the circuit. And yeah, just going down the straight once again, trying to minimize your like speed loss due to the little kink in the road. And then once you get to turn number 7, you have to hit the brakes quite early. And the thing about turn number 7 is we saw this yesterday. If you go wide on turn number 7 and you mount the curb, once you're on top of the curb, it is pretty much impossible to get off unless you the only way you can actually get off the end of the curb is by driving off the end. Once you've on top though, you can't steer left or right. You just go straight on. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty helpful to be able to steer an F1 car. So yeah, you don't want to go on that curb. And if you go further to the right of the curb, so you bounce over it, there are a load of bumps on the exit. So yeah, not great to be honest. And yeah. And then you have turn number 8, turn number 9, both just right angle corners, 90 degrees, turning right, then turning left. And yeah, you just want to make your way through there, get close to the walls as you think, as close to the walls as you think is safe. But once you're in dry conditions, it's pretty once you're in wet conditions, sorry, it's pretty treacherous around the curbs and the painted white lines because, yeah, because the paint is nowhere near as grippy as a road surface. So that is that. And then once you get through to turn number 10, 11, and 12, that's previously where the Singapore sling chicane was. And they got rid of it because it was too dangerous. But then they've got turn number 10, where you want to cut the curb as much as possible in dry conditions. But now they're in the wet, the drivers just want to tiptoe around there, really, because it is quite a treacherous part of the track. And then turn number 11 has got quite a few bumps as well. So yeah, the drivers will just be trying not to get in any puddles or get in any bumps to unsettle the car, because the most important thing about driving in wet conditions is being as smooth as possible, apart from the time when you need to save your car. And then of course you can snap your steering wheel to make sure that you to make sure that your car is still alive. Formation lap starts in 4 minutes, guys. So they get their way through turn number 10, 11, 12. Turn number 13, that's the slowest corner on the entire circuit. And the main thing about that is you just have to, you've got to rotate the car throughout the entire corner, because it's such a sharp corner. You've got to, there's a lot of time spent rotating the car, and the quicker that you can rotate your car, the better, because when you're trundling along at 50 kilometers an hour or something, going through a hairpin, it is, you're wasting a lot of time in those conditions. I don't know why Leclerc has just teleported over to the pit building on the map. He'll probably teleport back once his GPS has fixed itself. But yeah, through turn number 13, then you have the final DRS zone of the circuit, going down into turn number 14. And yeah, turn number 14, you've got a very big exit curve, and the wall, in fact, extends out towards the exit. So you can definitely push a lot earlier than you would expect for such a sharp corner. And then you've got turn number 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, all just right angle corners. They're very, I'd say awkward to drive in the wet conditions. From what I've played in the F1 games, once you're in wet conditions at Singapore, it is absolutely, you drive around so slowly, you nearly do 2-minute lap times, and you're just trying not to hit the barriers mainly. The car does become very tricky to handle, because the thing with wet conditions is once you've got up to high speed, all the downforce helps you and gives you a bunch of grip, so you can actually drive around at a decent pace. But once you're driving around at slow speed, and with Singapore you've got 21 corners out of 23 being slow speed corners, you do a lot of just tiptoeing around, trying not to crash into the car, trying not to crash into the wall, sorry. So once you got through those corners, you've got the final two corners, turn number 22 and 23, to round out the 5 kilometer long lap at Singapore. And I want to donate, but I don't know how. There is a dollar button beneath the chat. So if you press that, then it'll let you donate. There's a dollar sign. And then that's how you donate. But you don't have to donate. The fact that you guys are watching when we've got nearly 5,000 people watching, that's more than enough. If you could hit the like button and subscribe, that would be appreciated. Donations definitely not necessary. So, All right. We're actually pretty close to 45,000 subscribers. We are 54 subscribers away, in fact, now 52 subscribers away. So if you guys could hit that subscribe button, it would be very much appreciated. We are 30 seconds away from the race going live here at Singapore. We will be going racing extremely soon. Well, let me just double check what the FIA is saying, because we should be going racing. It didn't stop raining, so all right. We're getting ready for the formation lap now. We've got some team radio from Lance Stroll. Let's have a listen.
So Lance, everybody on Inters. Everybody's on Inters. Gasly, Tsunoda used. Everybody else new.
Okay, so we've got the tyre information from the Aston Martin pit crew. Everyone is on intermediate tyres, except Gasly and Tsunoda, so the two AlphaTauris are starting on a used set of mediums. Everyone else is on a fresh set. Ignore this tyre information. In fact, I'll just hide it. But yeah, the race will be starting now. The formation lap underway, and there we go. Carlos Sainz leading the way. Well, he should be leading the way. There we go. Charles Leclerc, everyone else on the formation lap now. And look at this, the gap between the drivers, pretty big, because all they're trying to do is just minimize the amount of spray that they have. Leclerc, of course, will have no spray whatsoever. All the drivers now just drive around. So here we go. Formation lap is underway. And we've got nearly 5,000 people watching. Thank you, everyone, for all your support. Likes, subscriptions would be absolutely wonderful. And yeah, here we go then. Let's see, is it going to tell us the correct tires now? Hopefully it does. Still no update with the tire situation. Right. So yeah, all drivers now just warming up their tires. In fact, do we have the telemetry data from the drivers? Yeah, it might be interesting to see which gear they start the race in, because we saw, I think, if you guys remember back to 2019 Germany, we had, I think, Kimi Räikkönen started the race in third gear, Vettel started the race in second gear. This was the race where it was on and off raining for the entire race, and the drivers are switching between intermediates and intermediates and dries, for the majority of the race. So yeah, we'll wait and see what gear the drivers decide to start in, which one works out for them, which one doesn't, and yeah. Everyone is on intermediate tires. Yep, only Yuki Tsunoda and Pierre Gasly, they're on a used set, but everyone else is on intermediates. Yeah, right. I'm just going to do a quick refresh of the data, and then yeah, we should be good to go. Yeah, I don't know exactly why it says the old tires, but we've got the telemetry data coming through, so it should be fine. There we go. All right. Leclerc now just coming out of the third sector, getting ready to go racing. Can we get a poll for the safety car percentage? Sure. I mean, I guess safety car, yes or no. All right. We're 2 subscribers away from 45,000. I guess loads of people are trying to hit it. So there we go. We are on 45k just before the race starts as well. I appreciate all the support, guys. I mean, I don't know exactly what to say. I mean, every time we hit these subscriber goals, it's just absolutely incredible to think that all of you guys, I guess, tune into this commentary. It's it's just crazy. So yeah. All right. Drivers now just lining up onto the grid. We got Leclerc up in first position. Then behind him, we have Sergio Perez, the second row of the grid, Lewis Hamilton and Carlos Sainz. This is the first race in the turbo hybrid era when Lewis Hamilton knows that he will not be able to win the championship. We've got Fernando Alonso in 5th, Lando Norris in 6th, Gasly in 7th, Max Verstappen in 8th after a horrible qualifying yesterday, Magnussen in 9th, Tsunoda in 10th, Stroll, Schumacher in 11th and 12th, Vettel, Zhou 13th and 14th, Valtteri Bottas, Daniel Ricciardo 15th, 16th, Ocon and Albon in 17th and 18th. Ocon solo down because he had a brake issue in qualifying yesterday. Latifi in 19th and George Russell starting from the pit lane with a brand new engine. So the drivers are now underway, lights out, and away we go into turn number 1. Perez has got the lead ahead of Charles Leclerc already. Leclerc had a horrible start, and it looks like Verstappen's lost 4 positions off the race start. We're going to have to wait for the GPS to be completely sure of where Verstappen is, but by the looks of it, Perez is in the lead of this race with Leclerc in second place. Wow, that rhymed as well. And then we got Sebastian Vettel up into 8th. Verstappen gains another position. Yeah, so Verstappen did have a horrible start. Drivers just making their way through now into turn number 7 and 8. The track gets narrower and narrower, and then here we have at the back of the field George Russell just catching up from, of course, he started from the pit lane, so there we go. All right, the tyre information is just wrong today. it doesn't seem to be fixing itself either. All right. Vettel, though, 219 kilometers an hour going down the straights. That's the fastest out of anyone. So nice job there from Seb Vettel. And looking at the gap here, all of the gaps have got so big already. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's to be expected when you have so much spray going around, but Vettel looks like a man on a mission, and Verstappen lost 2 positions. I don't know how he's done that, but yeah, loses out 2 positions and then goes up 1. He's, tangling with Daniel Ricciardo, what he's doing, getting very close indeed, and going side by side as well. So nice job there from Max Verstappen. Nice job recovering from his bad start, which wasn't ideal, of course, but I will wait and see what he can do. His teammate is currently in the lead of this race, and yeah. Okay. We'll also have a look at the lap times, what drivers are doing. We had yesterday, I think, 1 minute 50s. 1 minute 50 lap times was what we were getting in qualifying yesterday. We'll see what we get today in the race conditions. Everyone is currently on intermediate tires and the switchover period. So once the track is dry enough to switch from inters to dries is a 1 minute 52 lap time. That's what we're expecting from the data that we got in qualifying yesterday. And yeah. All right, so Verstappen gets past Kevin Magnussen going into turn number 5. So yeah, rather unusual overtaking opportunity taken there by Max Verstappen, but nevertheless, he's pulled it off successfully. And Leclerc, in fact, catching up to Sergio Perez in the first sector. That's not something you see every day, mainly because of the spray. Once he's 1 second behind Sergio Perez, that means that's the ideal sweet spot to just get every bit of spray you can from the Red Bull right in your face. And Leclerc still managing to get a purple first sector, so it looks like he is in no position and in no mood to give up this race win for the Singapore Grand Prix. He obviously felt in 2019 he deserved it, and I guess he wants some redemption, so he is back for some more, and yeah. Verstappen overtaking Stroll as well, so making some quick progress. Had a bad start to the race. Looks like he probably got some tire temperature in, and now just making his way through the field. We'll wait and see what he can do. All right. Yes. I mean, look at this. What am I saying? Charles Leclerc, another purple sector. So yeah, I mean, Charles Leclerc's pace is looking very good indeed. But the gap is still around about 1 second. It'll be at least a while before both of the drivers get settled into the race, and then they think about making an overtake, because making overtakes in wet conditions, they're very treacherous things to do, and you've got to be very careful about how you go about doing it. Can you make sure that the driver in front can see you coming? Because otherwise, if you don't, then the other driver turns in, you both spin out and go into the barrier, and then you both either DNF or end up at the back of the field. And yeah. Albon spun out on lap 1. Well, Albon was starting, I think, 18th. Yeah, so if he spun out, then he recovered from the spin out very quickly. That's all I can say. Yeah, so at the start of the race, I'm just going to give you like a quick little replay of what happened. Lewis Hamilton got slightly pushed off the track by Carlos Sainz. And yeah, we're going to get some team radio about that maybe. In fact, we have some team radio. Let's have a listen. Yeah, no grip. Right, well, that's to be expected once you're in wet conditions. But yeah, lap time's sitting around 2 minutes and 1 second. So they have to reduce by another minute, by another 10 seconds at least, before the drivers can actually start thinking about switching over to soft tires. All right, and also on the race start, Sergio Perez and Charles Leclerc both had a reaction time of 0.29 seconds. But Sergio Perez's race start was just much better than Leclerc, and Leclerc seemed to play a little bit safe. I think he's just playing it for the long game. There are 61 laps of racing here at Singapore, and we might not even get to the end of all of the laps. So yeah, Verstappen, one more position gained on Yuki Tsunoda, up into 9th position now, into the points, and yeah, we'll wait and see what he can do. Hamilton came over the radio once again, said, "I told you about these tires. You need to listen to me. There's no grip." Yeah, so he came over the radio. "I told you about these tires. You need to listen to me in the future. There is no grip." I don't know exactly why Hamilton is complaining, because everyone else on the track is also on intermediate tires. So if you were on wets, it would be, well, there's no point going on wets, because your tire, it would be too dry for wet tires. So yeah, not sure exactly what Hamilton's talking about, but there we go. In fact, also I just got the replay of Vettel's overtake on Yuki Tsunoda. Well, actually, he's just overtaken Tsunoda. But yeah, basically what he did was, going into turn number 14. There's no DRS or anything, but he got the slipstream and just went down the inside. It was a bit risky as well, mainly because of the fact that the inside line had a lot more water deposited on the track there. But he still just went for it. Yuki Tsunoda saw him coming and was like, "Well, am I going to be able to defend against Verstappen for the entire race? Probably not." And yeah. Oh, sorry. I should probably put the lap numbers up. Yeah. Whoops. Oh, thank you for the donation as well. GT, thank you. Yeah, thank you for the donation. Whoops, sorry about that. Yeah, I just totally forgot. I turned it off before because it was glitched out, and then yeah, forgot to turn it back on. Have the tires fixed themselves? Nope, the tires are still they're still showing qualifying tires. So there we go. Also, it was Alex Albon did spin out, but because he was at the back of the grid, he didn't have to wait for anyone else. He just went straight up he went straight up onto, like, back onto the track, because there was no one else blocking the way. Yeah. Oh, also, we changed the subs counter. Yeah, I mean, we've beat our sub goal, but I guess we could. Sure, let's change the sub goal. Why not? Let's put it to. I guess that's our new subscriber goal, guys. If you guys could hit that subscriber goal, that would be very much epic. Yeah. Will you support another driver once Seb retires? I don't know, actually. I guess I'm just going to find out next season. So there we go. George Russell overtakes Nicholas Latifi. Nice job there from the Englishman. Of course, he's got a wet setup for the Mercedes. He's got a wet setup, which means he's got a very big advantage over the rest of the drivers. And he's definitely putting that to good use. He started from the pit lane, started 10 seconds behind the rest of the field, and made some solid progress, overtaking Albon, Zhou, Latifi, and next up on his list it was the driver that he replaced, Valtteri Bottas, in driving the Alfa Romeo. So we'll wait and see what George Russell can do. Max Verstappen's progress up the field has slightly been hindered by Sebastian Vettel's solid defense. He's not making any mistakes, has got some consistent pace as well. And yeah, Vettel doing a nice job indeed. And Verstappen not being able to find a way through for the time being. The track's looking to dry up a bit. It looks pretty dry in the camera angles, but looking at the lap times, it's still far from becoming dry conditions. So George Russell's overtake on Nicholas Latifi just did the exact same thing as what Max Verstappen did on Yuki Tsunoda down into turn number 14. He just went for a little bit of a dive bomb, and the driver ahead of him, Nicholas Latifi, knew there is no point trying to fight this, so I might as well just back off and play it safe. So that's what happened there. I think the drivers at the front have a pretty big advantage when it comes to overtaking, because they know that the midfield drivers just don't really have a chance against them anyway. So the midfield drivers just back off and right, well, I'll just let you overtake anyway. So there we go. All right. I should probably move this up a bit. There we go. Okay. So basically, guys, the guys that are asking when the drivers should switch from dry tires to or from wet tires to dry tires, they switch around about lap 1 minute when their lap times fall to 1 minute 52. That's probably the suitable time to switch over from wet tires to dry tires. We looked at this yesterday in qualifying. The inter tires were getting faster and faster till 1 minute 52, and then after that they could not go any faster, and that's when the soft tires really that's where the soft tires could like improve their pace, improve upon the 1 minute 52. So yeah, that's that. When we're currently sitting at 2 minute lap times, as the track dries up and the standing water is removed, we'll get closer to switching over to dry tires. All right. So let's see. Lando Norris stuck behind Lewis Hamilton. He's trying to drive. Oh, that's a very big slide indeed. Whoa. Okay. Lando Norris has said, as you can tell, not drying up very quick. So we would have expected. In fact, looking at yesterday's qualifying session, it was drying up extremely fast. The lap times went from a 1 minute 57 to a 1 minute 53, I think, in the space of 11 minutes of qualifying. Sorry, so it was extremely fast. I mean, 11 minutes and you lose 4 seconds worth of lap time. Absolutely ridiculous. Of course, that there was some sort of driver confidence there as well. The drivers knew where they could and can't push. But today, yeah, the track does not seem to be drying up much, and it still looks rather wet. Also, Max Verstappen pushing it to the absolute limit to try and overtake Vettel. I mean, he's going all over the curbs. And yeah, the curbs, when you're in wet conditions, they're slippery and slidey, and Verstappen just does not care when he's trying to catch up to Vettel, and he really can't do a thing. Vettel putting up a solid defense against Verstappen. He's been holding him behind. Vettel's been holding Verstappen behind within a gap of half a second for probably the last 2-3 laps now, and yeah. All right. Yeah, so Verstappen's got some progress to make till he can actually catch up to Vettel. Ooh, we've got a yellow flag. Guan Yu Zhou has binned it on the exit of turn number 5. I suspect what he's done is got a bit of oversteer, and he's crashed on that. So let's change that to a yellow flag. Yellow flag on the track. So Guan Yu Zhou on the exit of turn number 5 got a bit of oversteer. So he turned into the slide, of course, to correct it. But of course, when you correct an oversteer and you turn your steering wheel to the left, your car also goes to the left. And if there's a wall, you end up crashing into it. So Guan Yu Zhou has crashed on the exit of turn number 5. We have a yellow flag. So guys, can we get an F in the chat for Guan Yu Zhou? And because his car is it's in the barrier, and it will probably take a while to clean up. So I don't know why we haven't got a virtual safety car yet or anything. But there we go. All right. No information from the FIA. Is there a safety car? Is there a virtual safety car? Nothing. Very strange indeed. So, also Kevin Magnussen has got a black and orange flag. He's carrying damage from opening lap contact with Max Verstappen, and he is so they've been given a black and white flag. In fact, I don't actually know what the black and white flag is. Guan Yu Zhou's just got out of the car. It looks like he's parked up in a suitable spot for them to just recover it, but they've put a yellow flag out. So they could have neutralized the race, or maybe they're just going to carry on driving around, I guess. I'll look up what a black and white flag is black and orange flag, sorry. Because I haven't actually heard of that before. I know what a black and white flag is, but not a black. So let's have a look at Guan Yu Zhou's on board. Okay, So he was trying to overtake Nicholas Latifi. Latifi took the inside line. Zhou took the outside line. Latifi just closed the door. And then Zhou got, yeah, okay, so it wasn't even Zhou's fault, actually. And we haven't got a yellow, oh, we've got a full safety car, You'll love to see it. But yeah, so it wasn't, Zhou didn't even crash. Latifi turned into him. So, yeah, go Tifi, I guess, making a mistake. So there we go. Kevin Magnussen into the pits now. They fixed the bit of damage that occurred on his car between himself and Max Verstappen at the start of this race. So, yeah, the black and orange flag should go away. Kevin Magnussen had an 11.4 second pit stop. That's to be expected because he has got because they had to fix that piece of bodywork. So basically, what it means is a black and orange flag is a vehicle being summoned to the pits due to serious mechanical problems or loose bodywork that presents risk to other competitors. So there was a bit of bodywork flying around on Kevin Magnussen's car, and that could have hit some other driver. Went through the halo because it could have been a small piece of debris. So there we go. We have a full safety car because Nicholas Latifi turned in on Guan Yu Zhou. Well, no, he didn't turn in. He squeezed Guan Yu Zhou so much that he went into the barrier. And then Latifi went into the pit, and I think he might have retired because he got damage or something. Yeah, he's currently in the pits now, unless they're doing a super long pit stop. Oh no, they're doing a long pit stop for Nicholas Latifi. They're having some sort of issues. Oh no, they get off the front wing, so I don't know why he isn't out on track yet. Yeah, he's just sat in the pit lane. Oh, they've got some sort of issue in Nicholas Latifi's car. Yeah, they've had to retire the car. They came in for a pit stop. They had some sort of issue with the tires or something, and Nicholas Latifi's been brought into the garage. So that's what's happened there. I don't think anyone else has come in for a pit stop, to be honest, under these safety car conditions, because it would be a waste of time. You've only done 9 laps of racing on intermediate tires. You should be very much good to go. This tires information still hasn't updated from yesterday's qualifying, so I apologize for that. Yeah. All right. So yeah, if the drivers do pit now under safety car conditions, they lose 15 seconds of time compared to the usual 28 seconds of time. And also, guys, the 74% of you that voted for a safety car, yeah, you turned out to be right. So, yeah, I guess there you go. Maybe a 10 seconds penalty for Latifi. No, I think Latifi is definitely, Latifi is retired from the race as well. So Latifi and Zhou, both of them are out. And yeah. What happened to Russell? Was he at the back of Bottas before the safety car? Yeah, Russell started from the pit lane and then made his way up through the field. And yeah, he was just behind Bottas. Didn't get a chance to make an overtake on him. So there we go. Also, guys, we got nearly 10,000 people watching. If you could hit the like button, that would very much be appreciated. If you could subscribe as well, that would be absolutely wonderful. Yeah, we're getting extremely close to 10,000 people watching. And yeah, all the likes and the subscriptions are very much appreciated. You guys are absolute legends I mean, you're all from all around the world. We've got some people in Australia staying up late. And yeah, very ridiculous indeed. Driver's still just behind the safety car now. Just cruising around, trying to keep that tire temperature in the car. And yeah, Valtteri Bottas. Oh, that was so basically what happened was George Russell tried to send one down the inside of Valtteri Bottas. Bottas was like, there's no way you're going to be able to make that corner, which he was correct. George Russell just went onto the escape road, and then he did a pirouette, got back onto the track. But yeah, George Russell just went straight on. When is the face reveal coming? I don't think I'm going to do a face reveal, at least not now. So I'll see if my mind changes or anything. But yeah, does not look like it. George Russell, yeah, he locked up his inside front. So that is why that's why he overshot his braking basically, and that's that. Watching from Africa, Malawi, wow. Manchester derby going on. Oh yeah, isn't that Manchester United versus Manchester City? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of feisty competition, I presume. safety car is the safety car ending? Not yet. Not well, as far as I can tell, the safety car is not ending. So there we go. Oh, United are losing. That is tragic. Yeah, I've got a couple of friends supporting United, and they will not be pleased. Watching from South Africa. Wow. I was actually thinking about this. I'm probably going to make merch, and I think I can ship to all other countries. There might be a bit of a delivery thing, but it won't be like F1 gamer merch. It's more likely to be like Formula One merch. So it'll be like I could have a shirt which has all of the F1 world champions on it, or all of the F1 race winners, or maybe the evolution of F1 cars, so like what they look like from the 1950s to the modern day. Yeah, I was thinking about that, or probably just like a shirt that says "Leave me alone, I know what I'm doing," like Kimi Raikkonen. Also, guys, safety car is ending. We are going green flag racing at the end of this lap. Safety car just coming in, and Sergio Perez backing everyone up. I suspect it's been a long time since Sergio Perez has done a safety car restart procedure, very much back to his junior Formula days, really, because he hasn't been at the front of the field. But there he goes at the start of the race, and still leading the way. Leclerc not being able to make an overtake, and we are back to racing. All right. How did Hamilton lose his third place position? I think it was at the race start. Yeah, at the race start, Carlos Sainz, Lewis Hamilton made a little bit of contact, and that is why Lewis Hamilton is now behind Carlos Sainz. So there we go. Tsunoda. Oh, also the pit stop. The pit stop information is broken. That's referring to yesterday's qualifying. So there we go. Also, actually, that's such a good shirt. Who suggested that? I don't know. Jinbutu Nazono is the drink on. You could definitely wear that shirt going out Friday night. That is a very good shirt idea. Yeah. Anyway, back to the race. We've got Max Verstappen overtaking Sebastian Vettel. Vettel did a great job, in fact, defending, but on the safety car restart, I think Verstappen was just too close, and the slipstream probably helped him out a bit, and there we go. Watching from Malaysia, wow. All right. So back to the race, we've got Verstappen overtaking Pierre Gasly. He is making some rapid progress. Yeah, I mean, he must have done something in the safety car period to get those tire temperatures up, and yeah, chilling from Vietnam, China, not Vietnam, Australia. Wow, I mean, that's very crazy. I mean, it's very late in Australia now, isn't it? Like, it's probably like, well, I don't know exactly what it is. I used to have it on my phone before, but is it possible for Lewis to win by here any chance? Well, by the looks of it, Lewis Hamilton's doing a good job, but maybe podiums on the cards, a win might be pretty difficult. But he has got two Ferraris ahead of him. So, Ferrari and their strategy, not the best thing in the world. He could probably sneak a podium or a win half midnight. Right. Yeah, not... Well, thank you for being dedicated fans and staying up to watch the race. And yeah. Okay, Verstappen closing up now on Fernando Alonso. We'll wait and see what Fernando does. Does he decide to defend? Because, to be honest, Fernando Alonso, we know he can do a very good attacking job here at Singapore. I think it was it, or was it, I don't remember which race it was. Oh no, it was Fernando Alonso and Sebastian Vettel at Singapore. It was like the closest ever F1 race, because they were like pretty much on top of each other, well, like behind in front of each, like, what was I going to say? One in front of another for the entire race. So Fernando Alonso definitely knows how to defend around Singapore, and he definitely knows how to attack. So we'll see what Fernando Alonso does against Max Verstappen. Verstappen makes his way through. In fact, turn number 14 being quite the nice overtaking opportunity. The third DRS zone of the circuit at the drivers, making, there's no DRS just yet, but that long enough straight just giving the drivers enough room to make that overtake. And also the benefit is that on the exit of turn number 14, the track really opens up. There's like a long way where you can just run off the track, and that helps with the overtake so you don't crash into the other drivers. And yeah. Watching from India. Ooh. What's your opinion on the comeback of the Indian GP? Yes, the MotoGP is back at the Indian Grand Prix track. That is a good step forward, because if we can have that, then we can also have Formula One going back to the Indian Grand Prix, which would be great, because Vettel's won every single Indian Grand Prix. Well, actually, Vettel won't be driving, so maybe don't. And then Vettel has the record of winning every single race in India. That's a pretty cool record. Who's got the fastest lap of the race? That record goes to Charles Leclerc. He went a tenth faster than Sergio Perez on the previous occasion, on the previous lap. Sorry, on lap number 13 of 61, and yeah. Will we know more about Gasly's future in F1? Well, I know Tsunoda's had his contract continued, but I think Gasly has a long-term contract with AlphaTauri. At least he has a contract for next year for sure. Some other teams could take him away, like Alpine maybe. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit. The whole situation with the transfers and Alpine is a bit confusing, to be honest. So I haven't been the most up to date on it, which I probably should. But here we are. Right, we got Max Verstappen now. 7 tenths behind Fernando Alonso, getting quite close to making some overtakes, but yeah, still very much the same as what was happening with Sebastian Vettel, within the half-second range, but not being able to get close enough for an overtake, because on the critical corner, turn number 13, Alonso would get a good exit, and if Alonso got a good exit, Verstappen, there's no chance for him to make an overtake. So yeah, he's going to need something like a mistake or maybe another virtual safety car or something to catch him off guard. Otherwise, it's going to be a long day for Max Verstappen, looking at the back of that Alpine rear wing. You're watching from Nebula M87. That is pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I've personally got a friend watching from like the other side of the Milky Way. It's just casual, you know what I mean? So there we go. Oh, watching from your sofa now. That is cool. Okay, so we got Sergio Perez at 1.2 seconds ahead of Charles Leclerc, and both of them are trading fastest sectors and fastest laps. So both their pace is pretty close, actually. Probably showing that the fact that the Red Bull car is slightly quicker than the Ferrari car, but yesterday Red Bull couldn't put it together. Verstappen had some issues, aborted a lap. Leclerc getting closer and closer though too. Leclerc getting further and further from Sergio Perez. The gap's extended now to 1.4 seconds, and maybe, maybe his tyres are overheating. I'm not 100% sure, but with the lap times in the 1 minute 59s, his tyres still should be fine. There should be enough standing water on the track to cool them down, and yeah. All right, let's have a look. Have we got any more information from the FIA? Some team radios. That'd be great to have a listen to. We've got some George Russell team radios. He's stuck behind Valtteri Bottas. Look at this, half a second behind Valtteri Bottas. Exactly the same situation that Max Verstappen has got with Alex Albon. Right, let's have a listen. Oh, not Alex Albon, Fernando Alonso. But let's have a listen to the team radio from George Russell.
Distribution, we need to move the overall beat valve forward. Brakes feel very odd in the braking in terms of how much I'm locking.
Okay, so George Russell was struggling with brake issues yesterday. And today, still struggling with brake issues of locking up, going into corners. So yeah, brake thing is around the circuit when you're in wet conditions. If you say you lock your front left tire, what happens is there's no heat generated after you've locked up your tire, because there's no friction or anything moving to actually generate that heat. So your front left tire will be totally fine, and like it will be. It won't heat up, and your front right tire will heat up, say, and that creates a temperature imbalance between your tires. So your left tire, not your tire, sorry, between your brakes. So if your left brake's cold and your right brake's hot, and you press the brake pedal, your right brakes are going to do a lot more slowing down of the right tire than your left tire, and you're going to end up turning in like one direction, like you're going to turn left or right when you hit the brakes, which is not ideal. And George Russell suffering from that. Yesterday, I think we had I don't remember which driver it was. Someone was suffering from it as well yesterday. I think it was Nicholas Latifi or something. Yeah, it was Latifi. Hitting on the brakes, and then you turn more to the left or the right, and yeah, that issue keeps on getting worse and worse, because once your right tires, if you brake even more, then your right right brakes heat up more, your left brakes cool down more. So yeah, pretty strange. We'll see what George Russell's going to do. We've got some team radio from Lance Stroll as well. He's currently in 11th position, just behind, well, 2 seconds behind Yuki Tsunoda, probably in the perfect zone to get a lot of spray. But yeah, let's have a listen to his team radio.
So rear right is hot, so let's manage rear right temperature. Exit turn 7 is hottest.
Okay, so exit of turn number 7 is, yeah, okay, so exit turn number 7, that really shows you what's going on with the brakes. So if his rear right is hot, that's a lot of wheel spin and a lot of heat bleeding out from the brakes into the tires. And George Russell as well was saying we need to shift the brake balance forwards because the rear tires are locking up. And if your rear tires lock up when going into a corner, it's pretty much guaranteed to be a spin or like a very big slide as well, indeed. So yeah, drivers struggling with their brakes. Of course, air temperature in Singapore is 27 degrees. Track temperature is 29 degrees. But yeah, when you've got a lot of downforce on the car, teams look to minimize drag in other areas, so like making the brake ducts slightly smaller and stuff, and then they end up compromising on that. So Sergio Perez, fastest lap of the race, pulling away by another 0.4 of a second against Charles Leclerc. And yeah, looks like the Red Bull's pace just keeps on improving as the fuel goes down and the track improves. But yes, Ferrari not able to keep up with our level of improvement that Sergio Perez has got. We've got some team radio from Valtteri Bottas, who's currently still holding George Russell behind him. So let's have a listen to what he's got to say.
And we believe others might be starting to struggle a bit now.
Yeah, our tyres are starting to work.
Copy, that's good news. Keep pushing.
Well, that's great, isn't it? So everyone else is starting to struggle. And then we've got the Valtteri Bottas's tyres are starting to pick up the pace. And in fact, Valtteri Bottas has caught up to Esteban Ocon, but George Russell has not been able to catch up to overtake him. So yeah, Alfa Romeo doing a nice job there on the track. Do you think Max can close the gap to Leclerc? Well, the gap between Max and Leclerc is currently 15.3 seconds, or 16.3 seconds, actually. So, yeah, I don't think it will be a very long time before he can actually do that. There might have to be some pit stop blunder or something, but it looks like he's just stuck behind Fernando Alonso, and if he can't get past Alonso, then how is he going to overtake Norris, Hamilton, and especially Hamilton, because Hamilton, it's in his best interest to block Max Verstappen. Well, not really, but but he might as well block Max Verstappen, score some more points. So, yeah. It's not raining anymore. It is dry in Singapore. And yeah. Why did everyone pit so many times? Oh, the pit statistic is just completely wrong. It's showing yesterday's qualifying pit statistics. So yeah, hopefully you guys can just ignore that because they're all just wrong. They haven't updated since yesterday's qualifying, so I don't know. Yeah, the website's just been a bit weird, to be honest. How did Perez move to P1? Well, he got a better start at Charles Leclerc at the start of the race. Both of them had a reaction time of 0.29 seconds, but Sergio Perez just managed to get that tiny little bit more traction compared to Charles Leclerc, and then yeah, went out to take the lead into turn number 1. Of course, he had the inside line as well, which definitely helped out Leclerc. He was in no position to close the door, because Ferrari know what happens if you close the door on a Red Bull at turn number 1 of a wet Singapore racetrack. You know, that's rather specific, but it happened in 2017. So yeah. I mean, to be honest, usually what F1 drivers do is if it's raining or something at like a certain track where it hasn't rained in a while, they go back through the archives looking at when it's rained, what lines drivers took, where they avoided, where they drove over. So I suspect what Leclerc did was probably look over all of the onboards of the 2017 race start. What's a good idea to do? What's not a good idea to do? Where are the puddles? Where are they not? And then, yeah, from that information, he probably gathered probably not a good idea to turn into the Red Bull on the inside of you at turn number 1. And yeah, so good job there. Playing it safe. I mean, scoring 18 points is much better than scoring none at all. So there we go. Watching from Gran Canaria. Come on, Lewis. Very nice. Gran Canaria. I think, is there a telescope at Gran Canaria? I'm not sure. Yeah, space telescope. That's pretty I think there's a space telescope. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, watching from the Philippines, a Checo fan. Well, I mean, that's great. Sergio Perez leading the race. You would be very pleased indeed. Okay. George Russell still stuck behind Valtteri Bottas. Let's see what else is going on the track. Well, more news to talk about. We've got Charles Leclerc with a fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 58.9. So we're dipping into the 1 minute 58s now. Also, another thing to point out, we're not going to get to the end of the race by the looks of it. We're not going to complete the entire 61 laps. There is a 2-hour timer on every F1 race, and if there are F1 and if the race doesn't finish within that 2-hour limit, the race just ends there. So there we go. I'm just editing around with the lap counter. Give me a second. There we go. So you can actually read the number 18 fully now. So there we go. What happened to Verstappen? He got a bad race start, went down into 13th position, and then has been fighting his way up through since. So that's the quick summary of what happened to Max Verstappen. What happened to Zhou and Latifi? So basically, they were going into turn number 5. Guan Yu Zhou was on the outside. Latifi was on the inside. Maybe Latifi didn't know where Zhou was, but it looked like he just squeezed Zhou straight into the wall, and then Zhou's front right tire. I'm not sure which tire broke, but he had a broken tire, so that's why he had to retire. And then by the time Nicholas Latifi got back into the pits to replace his front wing or like change his tires or something, it was very much his car was damaged, so they weren't able to go out back on track. When do I think DRS should be activated? Well, the rules for DRS is when it's wet conditions, you shouldn't switch over to DRS shouldn't be activated. And the usual rules are, it's 4-4 against Manchester United versus Man City. Well, that's a pretty exciting match. Okay, well, back to the race. What we're talking about DRS. So basically, the rule is if it's raining, you can't have DRS. So I think the fair thing to do is once you have changed it, once dry tires are faster than wet tires, that's probably like the switchover period when the race goes from wet to dry. So yeah, once your dry tires are faster than wet tires, that's when you should turn the DRS on. And according to what we saw yesterday, once the wet tires start doing lap times of 1 minute 52, that's when the dry tires actually end up being faster. So there we go. It's 4-0. 4-0 to City. Well, yeah, okay, my friends who are United fans are definitely not happy. All right, well, I'm trolling. Okay, well, I just got trolled then. So whoever was trolling just got John O'Brien. I do not appreciate the trolling, to be honest. When will the pit window open? Actually, that's interesting. I haven't actually thought about anyone pitting yet. We've only done 19 laps of the race. I will try and get the pit information up. Let's see. Can I get any? No. Nobody has pitted just yet. So that's that. We've got some team radio from Lewis Hamilton, in fact. We might just go to interslicks because, yeah, if you guys remember back to Turkey, we had the everyone just drove on intermediate tires for so long they basically just became slick tires. We could just potentially go back to that because because the track is rapidly drying. Well, not rapidly drying, but it's drying up, and it might be drying up at the same rate as the inter tires are wearing out. So it might just be your best bet to just stay out on those tires for as long as possible. We have some team radio from Hamilton and then some from Yuki Tsunoda. So let's listen to both of these. Why is it not playing? What is this? Okay, Lewis Hamilton's radio is broken. Let's have a listen to Tsunoda's.
Engine braking for rotation.
Sunset, 8 more.
Wait, what did it? the engineer said engine braking 444 rotation, which is fair enough. Let's just have a listen to what Sonoda said. I can't tell. If you guys can tell, type it in the chat.
Engine braking 4 rotation.
Yeah, I don't know what he said, so there we go. All right. Yeah, Hamilton is falling off the back of Sainz now. He was a bit closer before. Now the gap is 1.5 seconds, and yeah, his pace is slightly dropping off. We'll wait and see what will happen. Yeah. Also, Kiez and Multi Ninja, thank you for moderating the chat. Very much appreciated. Yeah, you guys are making sure that the chat is like actually sustainable to read and stuff. So yeah, thank you very much. And also, you guys in chat should give them like some heart messages and like some nice messages to Kiez and Multi Ninja. That would be very much appreciated because they are very wonderful people. All right. I don't think anyone else is coming into the pits just yet. The driver's done 20 or so laps on those intermediate tires. Still think they can make it out. Still think they can do a couple more laps before they come into the pits. Yeah. Oh, Hamilton's looks like he's closing up a bit. To Sainz. Might have been Sainz that made a mistake. One sec. Let me just look through the sector times. It looks like Sainz made a bit of a mistake in the middle sector, lost 0.3 of a second. So, yeah, Hamilton closed that gap up once again, and we'll see what happens. All right. What else is going on? Verstappen is still stuck behind Fernando Alonso. It's been, I think like 10 laps he's just been looking at that Alpine rear wing. So, yeah, Max Verstappen doing a great job there. Well, to be honest, I don't think there's much else he can really do. Because once you're in wet conditions, if the driver in front of you doesn't make a mistake, catching up becomes very difficult because the closer you get, the less visibility you've got. And the less visibility you've got, you can't really drive fast when you can't see stuff. And yeah, so it's a tough situation. George Russell stuck behind Valtteri Bottas and still not being able to do much. So, yeah. I swear if Ferrari make a mistake, I'll never watch an F1 race again. Oh, look at this. Verstappen. I actually said that. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. What has gone on? Fernando Alonso's in the wall. Look at this, guys. Fernando Alonso's in the wall. And Verstappen made the overtake. At turn number 10. Yeah, it was pretty... turn number 10 is pretty tricky. You got to just tiptoe around that corner, not push too much. But Fernando Alonso's in the wall, and we've got... Yeah, I was about to say, as I said, Verstappen won't get past Alonso unless he makes a mistake. And then there you go. Alonso's just crashed into the wall. On his record of most race starts as well. Yeah, well, I see. Well, look at this. We've got a virtual safety car. So let me just change that. Virtual safety car. But we've got Fernando Alonso in the wall with the most race starts in Formula One history. Even all of that experience cannot prevent you from making mistakes at the Singapore Grand Prix track when it's raining. I will have a look at the replay. Maybe it was a bit of an incident between him and Max, but I don't think Max would try and make an overtake at turn number 10 because, yeah, I mean, that is definitely not an overtaking corner. But, yeah, let's have a look if I can get a replay. Oh no, it looks like there wasn't. It might have been an issue, but he's parked up. So, right, let's see if we can listen to his team radio. He might have parked up, but we haven't got any team radio from Fernando Alonso as of yet. But he's got out of the car. It looks like he hasn't crashed or anything. So he had an engine issue. That's a bit strange, I guess. But there we go. I guess. I don't really know what much to say. Yeah, it looked like on the map that he's just binned it at turn number 10, but apparently he's off the track. only a virtual safety car. There is, I think there's a JCB like tractor, no, not tractor, like a digger thing or something, or a crane. Oh yeah, so smoke coming out. Yeah, just smoke coming out of Fernando Alonso's car, and then his engine died. So yeah, that's what's happened there. Mechanical failure there for Fernando Alonso, and that is why he's out of the race. Max Verstappen makes his way past. Okay. Russell into the pits. Very nice. Okay, so let's see. Russell, what tyres does he come out on? I'm going to have to just... The map will slightly change for a second, and George Russell is out. George Russell's out on medium tyres. Oh my god. Okay. So they're playing a very big gamble here. The time you should switch over to the medium tyres is when your lap times are on a 1:52. The lap times are currently at a 1:58, and George Russell's out on the mediums. This is absolutely crazy. All right then, George Russell doing a mad one. We'll see how he goes. He's in 17th position now, so last place out of all of the drivers that haven't retired, and we'll wait and see what he can do. Yeah. The VSC has just ended, and we are back to green flag racing. So let's have a look at these sector times from George Russell then. He's sliding around a lot, coming out the pit lane, just sliding here and there. I think he's going to find it. Oh my god, what a massive slide that he just got coming out of turn number 3. Okay, well, George Russell is going to have a tough time driving that Mercedes. Let's see. Does he get oversteer out of turn number 5? No, he does not. Okay, so let's have a look. Look at this. His first sector was 60 seconds. That was after a pit stop, maybe? Right, well, let's just have a look. So, George Russell currently just navigating his way through the third sector. And, yeah, I'm really interested to see what this sector time is for George Russell, because I don't know why Mercedes... Why did they put him on the medium tyres as well? Because you might as well put him on soft, so he has a little bit of a chance of actually surviving on the track. But you've put him on the medium, so he has no grip, no temperature, and no nothing. Yeah, going through the third sector, he's put in a 47-second third sector, I think, which isn't actually that bad. Looking at actually, no, it is. Schumacher's just put in a 43-second middle sector. That's 4 seconds slower than Mick Schumacher in the Haas. Yeah, Russell testing for Hamilton's pit stop. Verstappen, now 2 purple sectors from Max Verstappen. He also got some team radio from Christian Horner. I don't know exactly what it was, but I suspect it was, you might as well start pushing because we're going to bring you in for a pit stop. And also he's got a bit of clean air now to catch up to Lando Norris. That's what it is. So is George Russell going to come into the pits, or is he just going to stay out on the mediums and just, suffer? I don't know. All right. To be honest, the track does look very, very dry looking at the images, but the thing is, when we talk about dry in terms of F1 circuits and dry in terms of what just looks like a dry road, they're very different. They're very, very different. So, yeah. All right, Kevin Magnussen has overtaken Alex Albon. Wait, unless Albon came into the pits. Did Albon come into the pits? No, he didn't. So, yeah, we've just got... Yeah, just driving on. Oh, actually, let's have a look at George Russell. If I click on his thing. Yeah, look at this. George Russell, though, a personal best. So, basically, guys, yellow means slower than your personal best, and green means faster than your personal best. So George Russell actually went faster than his personal best at this little part of the middle sector. I don't know how he's gone green through here, but somehow he's been... Look at this, he's gone green again. Have Mercedes just pulled off another big brain strategy or something? Because he's gone green again. Right, look at this. Is this green? it's yellow. Okay, but I mean, how has he still done that in green? That is absolutely crazy. I mean, I guess we'll find out how it works out, but I'm going to leave the map on like this for a while. So all it means, yellow is slower than your personal best, green is personal best, and purple is the fastest out of anyone. So that's just some information for you guys. Probably a little bit of extra information as well. So that's the map. I will change it back in a bit. What's the name of the app? The name of the app is just the official Formula One app. Look at that, another green mini sector, another one. Okay, well, there we go. Alonso's engine died, so that's why he is out of the race, as pointed out by who said it? Oh, the chat is going way too fast. I can't read this. George Russell doing an early pit stop. See, the thing is, right, it's fair enough that he's gone out on an early pit stop. We'll wait for his lap time to finish, and then I'll make my point. But, yeah, put Russell on the mediums to plan Hamilton's switch at the perfect moment, maybe. I mean, thing is, if Russell's in 16th position, you might as well just abandon Russell, because there was no way he was going to make his way up through the field and score any points. And even if he did, it would score like, what, maybe 4 points. Mercedes doesn't really care. When Hamilton, even if he just gains like 2 positions, he goes up like, I think, 12 points or something. So you might as well just abandon George Russell's race, to be honest. So let's see now. What was his lap time? A 2-minute 5. So he's going 5 seconds slower than the rest of the field. So medium tires wasn't the way to go. But he did pit under the virtual safety car, so he saved himself, I think, 13 seconds worth of pit stop time. Oh, look at this purple. He's went purple through there. How has he done that? Oh, we've got another yellow flag. Who's done what? Alex Albon has crashed at turn number 8. Either crashed or just went straight on. I'm not sure. But George Russell is somehow managing this absolutely wonderfully. Let's see what's going to happen with that. We're back to green flag racing. So Alex Albon back on track. Yeah, he just went straight on at turn number 9 it was. Yeah, turn number 9. No, turn number 8, sorry. And then just did a quick pirouette and back onto the racetrack. So that's what the yellow flag was for. But I guess this is the most exciting thing, that we've got George Russell driving around on medium tires. So let's just keep track of this. He's actually right on the back of Alex Albon. Can he make an overtake on medium tires? That will be a tough ask, because the thing is, once you there is a fixed racing line, and that's the dry, and that will definitely be a lot drier than the rest of the track. So, in fact, he's actually just got past Albon. Albon has just given up the position, I think. Yeah, he's nearly 2 seconds behind Russell. So Albon might have some damage with his front wing when he went and did when he crashed at turn number 8. Okay. Leclerc losing pace against Perez. Oh, we've got a virtual safety car. Whoops. Okay, well, let's just turn off this thing for George Russell, because we are in virtual safety car conditions. I think it might be because there's debris. Alex Albon's driving slowly, so I think there might be debris on the track. And yeah. By the looks of it, Leclerc was losing pace against Sergio Perez before the virtual safety car came out. It was 0.4 of a second. That's how much faster Perez was on one lap. So there we go. How are Verstappen's lap times? Verstappen doing a 1 minute 59.6. Comparatively quite slow, but he's behind Lando Norris, so that's why. Yeah. Thumbs up on your commentary. Well, very much do appreciate it, guys. Yeah, you guys are, well, I mean, you guys are the reason I can do this, so very much do appreciate all of your wonderful support. Yeah, very nice messages in the chat as well. Oh, wow, look at this, 11,000 people watching. If you guys could hit the like button, that would be wonderful. And if you could subscribe as well, that'd be great. We could get much closer to our amazing stream target. Yeah. I think the VSC was for Albon, but we are back to racing now, so let's just change that. Yeah, we're back to racing. I think, yeah, Albon, the VSC was for Albon. He must have dropped some debris on the track when he had that incident at turn number 8. So, yeah. Hamilton on the back of Sainz now within 1 second. So we'll see how he goes. And also, we'll have a look at George Russell then. So, how is his sectors doing? See, this is actually the negative for George Russell. The virtual safety car, you might have thought, okay, this is going to conserve everyone's tyres, but that just loses temperature for George Russell. So, yeah, his sector times that were previously going green and purple, now they're going yellow because he hasn't got enough tyre temperature. So, and it's actually getting quite close to being lapped by Sergio Perez. So let's turn this off. We'll check back in a couple of laps there. In fact, can we compare between Perez and Leclerc? Oh, okay, we can. So you guys that are interested in the battle at the front of the field, any portion of the track which is blue, Sergio Perez is faster, and any portion of the track which is red, Charles Leclerc is faster. So that's a pretty interesting stat, I guess. I think it only does it for each sector, though, so it's not the most detailed of statistics, but nevertheless, it's interesting to see where Sergio Perez is faster and then where Charles Leclerc is faster. It looks like Leclerc's got 2 purple sectors and then, yeah, fastest third sector as well. So he does go faster than Sergio Perez. We'll see what he does in the next one. Why is Leclerc slow compared to Perez? Because I don't know exactly. The gap went back to 4 seconds. Oh, we've got another yellow flag. Why this time? Ocon as on the exit of turn number 13 stopped. That might be related to Fernando Alonso's issue, in fact. Let's just turn this off. But we've got a yellow flag once again. Fernando Alonso had that issue, of course. His engine died. So it could be related to that, or he could have just crashed. So we will just have to wait and see. The only driver to do a pit stop so far is actually George Russell. And in fact, the rule is you only have to do a pit stop if you're in dry conditions. You can actually do a full race just on one set of tyres if it's raining. So there we go. Alpine, yeah, let's see what's happened to Esteban Ocon. I'll try and find out as soon as possible. Yeah, Ocon's parked up at turn number 13, so I suspect another engine issue for the Alpine team, a double DNF, horrible weekend for them. And yeah, we got 28 laps. We're nearly reaching the halfway point of the Singapore Grand Prix. Yeah, also another thing, if the lap times don't drop, and if we continue getting virtual safety cars and safety cars, we're not going to finish all 61 laps of the race. We're only going to do probably like 58 or something. And then the race will be cut short because of the 2-minute time. So yeah, we only have yellow flags because Esteban Ocon just parked up at the exit of turn on the escape road near turn 13. So, actually, I said that, and as soon as I said that, we've got a virtual safety car. So there we go, virtual safety car out now. And yeah. There is a 2-hour time limit on Formula 1 races, and currently there is 1 hour and 30 seconds left on the clock. So we're pretty close to the halfway point. But the thing is, we've still got, we might get another safety car or a virtual safety car, and that slows down all the lap times, which ends up being, which just means that George Russell loses out, and we won't finish all of our laps. So there we go. Did Leclerc did? No, there's no point pitting Leclerc just yet. Yeah. Okay. Is the weather drying up? Well, the track hasn't actually dried up as much as expected. It's still pretty damp, and going out on medium or soft tyres is not the best bet. You end up being 5 seconds slower than the competition per lap. So, yeah, wet tyres is still very much the way forward, but it's not raining anymore. So, yeah, there's that. So what happened to Russell? Well, he started out the race with an engine penalty, and he went all the way to the pit lane. So he was, I think, in like fifth or sixth position, and then he started the race in the pit lane. Then he couldn't get past Valtteri Bottas for, I think, about 30 laps. Oh no, well, not 30 because we're on lap number 29, but he was stuck behind Valtteri Bottas for the majority of the race. And then Mercedes were like, oh, there's a virtual safety car. We might as well just put him out on medium tyres. So that's what they did. And George Russell is on medium tyres and about to get lapped by Sergio Perez. So there we go. What happened to Zhou and Latifi? Zhou and Latifi had a crash at turn number 5. Latifi, I don't think, saw Zhou, and then, closed the door on him and ended up crashing into the wall. Yep, so Esteban Ocon's engine was just smoke coming all out of it. And not a great day for Alpine. Both of them are out, and both McLaren cars are in the points. So their little battle that they had, it was 18 points ahead was Alpine in the Constructors' Championship, and now with the 5 points that I think, with the 10 points that Lando Norris will get and the 1 point that Daniel Ricciardo will get if it stays like this, that gap will have went from 18 down to 7. So it's getting closer and closer. Can you display a weather track status? Or I'm not going to show you a weather track status because it is literally just completely dry. There's no rain whatsoever, no clouds or anything. It's just wet because there was a thunderstorm like 2 hours ago. Not even 2 hours ago, like an hour and a half ago or something. So that's that. What happened to Alonso? He had a dead engine, yeah. All right. We have gone to green flag racing. So virtual safety car is in just finally. And yeah. Oh, wait, it's only the 54th minute and United are losing 4-0. Lol. Right. What happened to Verstappen at the start? I don't know exactly what happened. I know what happened. I think he got pinched and then had to go on the inside curb. And if you guys remember, like if you guys know what the curb looks like at Singapore at turn number 1, you've got the pit lane on the inside of the curb, and then you've got the curb itself, but it's sort of a triangle. And because the curbs are raised up a bit, it's just a massive puddle. So Max Verstappen just drove through a massive puddle at the start of the race, like 100 meters after the start of the race. So that's what happened. Ooh, okay. So George Russell has been lapped. Sergio Perez with a 31.1. Wow. Well, actually, Charles Leclerc matches him. Hamilton previously was getting extremely close to Carlos Sainz, but still not able to make a move. And then we've got Lando Norris, who's holding up Max Verstappen very nicely. I think he's been two virtual safety cars that he's been holding up Max Verstappen, and still Verstappen hasn't found a way past. No mistakes, nothing from Lando Norris, just pure consistency. So nice job there from the young British driver. And we'll see what Max Verstappen can do. He's been stuck behind there. I mean, to be honest, it's not too critical for the championship. He could probably go on and win another day. But yeah, it would be great if he could keep his streak of how many races he's won in a row. Yeah, Sergio Perez had the fastest middle sector. Now it's Charles Leclerc. Ooh, we could probably actually have a look at this. George Russell, is his lap times improving? I mean, George Russell, look at this, another purple sector with his medium tyres. So I think what we can see is which part of the track has dried up the most. So you've got the bit at turn number 10 has dried up the most, and George Russell being able to go through there quickly. But everywhere else, it's still fairly wet. And yeah. Oh, it's 4-1 now? Okay, cool. I mean, there's what, like 40 minutes left, so they could make a comeback, but it is what it is. I hope the South African Grand Prix is added for 2024. Yeah, I hope they do that. But the thing is, there are so many F1 races now. There's what, nearly 24, I think, next year, or 23 or something. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy, because considering there's only 52 weekends in a year, 24, that's nearly half of the weekends in a year has Formula One. Like, that's crazy. All right, Charles Leclerc, 1 minute 56.2. So the lap times are improving significantly. He's now 3.5 seconds behind Sergio Perez. So the battle is nowhere near as close as it was before, but he is closing up definitely, and we'll wait and see what he can do. Also, guys, we've got 11,000 people watching. If you guys could smash the like button, that would be absolutely wonderful. Yeah, we're getting close to 1,500 likes. So if you could subscribe as well, getting that a little bit closer to our absolutely wonderful subscriber goal would be, very nice subscriber goal would be a better way to describe it. Yeah, that'd be great. So there we go. Has anyone pitted? Nobody except George Russell. I think everyone else is still going for the strategy of turning your intermediate tires into slick tires by just wearing them out so much. And I mean, that worked very well in Turkey. In Turkey, they had similar conditions to this. It was raining at the start, and then it stopped raining, and the drivers just continued, just went and carried on and on and on intermediate tires until they wore out, and they basically just became slick tires. So we could potentially see that happening again. Yeah. Turkey wasn't last year. It was, oh my God, it was 2020. That's 2 years ago. Wow. Hopefully get a white Red Bull. Yes, that would be wonderful to see. That livery that they had was absolutely epic. Would love to see that come out again. And yeah. Can we see the sector comparisons between Leclerc and Perez? Sure. It only compares like the whole sector. There's no mini sectors as there was with George Russell's thing. But Sergio Perez faster in the first sector and Leclerc faster in the second and third. And yeah, that's more of the track that Leclerc's faster on, and he's caught up the gap 3.5 down to 3, and we're reaching the halfway point of the race. How is it on the pit stop front? Well, the pits, the thing, I just want to let you know that all of these stats here on the pits, they're all wrong, because they're... Oh, actually, did they fix themselves? No, they didn't. Oh, we've got another yellow flag, right? Well, one sec, let me just check what that's for. Oh, we're back to green flag, never mind. What was I going to say? Yeah, the only driver that has pitted was George Russell. Yeah, let me just have a look again. Yeah, just George Russell that's done pit stops. Yeah, look at this. It's always just Sergio Perez faster in the first sector, Charles Leclerc faster in the second. So that's to be expected. George Russell, look at this. He's going purple. Look. Oh, he's got a purple middle sector. It is time to switch over to the mediums. Let's go. All right, we're reaching the switchover point between the mediums and between the softs and the dries and the wets. See, the thing is, though, George Russell has a very big benefit here. He's got tires that are extremely warm compared to tires that when you come out of the pit lane. The other thing is, because the pit lane is so long here at the Singapore Grand Prix, you come out of the pit lane, say your tires are at 80 degrees or whatever. By the time you've got to the end of the pit lane, they've cooled down pretty significantly because you're putting no energy through them. And then, yeah, it's just an endless cycle. You get your tires getting slightly colder. And yeah, you've got to be very careful with how you manage that. So there we go. Oh, what happened to Hamilton? Oh, did he come into the pits? No, Hamilton didn't come into the pits. I must have made a mistake or something. I guess I'll try and find out what happened to Lewis Hamilton. But yeah, I don't know how he's lost a position to Lando Norris. Oh no, he was trying to overtake Lando Norris. He overtook Lando Norris and then got back. Norris overtook him again. Oh no, never mind. Hamilton went into the barrier. That's what happened. He overshot his braking zone, locked his brakes, and went into the barrier. He reversed out of the car. His front wing looks to be fine. And yeah, he's on his merry way. Yeah, Hamilton was trying to overtake Sainz, but then he got caught up. Then he locked his brake, went into the barrier, and then he slotted in just ahead of Max Verstappen between Norris and we've got Gasly and Tsunoda into bits, both AlphaTauris into bits. Okay, well now the race is really getting exciting. Okay, so what happened was Hamilton came out in between Norris and Verstappen, and now there's a three-way battle for fourth position. We've got Gasly and Tsunoda coming into the pits. George Russell setting purple mini sectors everywhere. And look at this, purple first sector, purple second sector. Now is the time when you want to switch onto those tyres. So Ferrari, please switch onto those tyres so we can see Sir Charles Leclerc maybe win a race. Okay, look at this, personal best as well. So it's definitely doing a good job. So Ferrari have got their medium tyres out, but they put them back into the garage. Okay, why have you done that, Ferrari? I'm not sure. But just don't put him out on like hard tyres because that would be stupid. Yeah. All right. All right, let's see what's going on then. We've got Bottas out, Magnussen out, so loads of people coming into the pits now, finally. Let's see. George Russell doing a decent job. So Bottas is out on soft tyres. We got Gasly, Tsunoda, and Magnussen on mediums. Okay. Leclerc's coming into the pits. Right, he went into the pits. Now, what tyre does he come out on? Leclerc is out on medium tyres. Ferrari have not messed up a strategy. Now, look at this. Now we've got to look at the rest of the other drivers' tyres. So Bottas came out on a set of soft tyres, but he's not improving anywhere, and that's because of the fact that he has no tyre temperature whatsoever. So the main thing is just to build up as much tyre temperature as possible. Lewis Hamilton has actually got damage to his front wing. His front left, it's scraping all over the floor. Hamilton's front wing is scraping all over the floor. It's got a lot of sparks. He's into the pits. He's going to have a front wing replacement. Vettel's coming out ahead of Hamilton. Nice job there. Vettel's jumped Hamilton in the pits. We're going to turn this off now. But yeah, the main thing is George Russell is able to set these fast lap times because his medium tyres are warmed up, whereas everyone else's medium tyres haven't yet. So yeah, it's going to be a while before everyone else can start setting purple sectors and actually benefiting from it. So we're looking at this. Leclerc now, he was 10 seconds slower than Perez on the previous lap, sorry. Of course, he went into the pits, of course, that's why. But nevertheless, it's going to be a while before he'll actually be able to match the 1 minute 56 that Sergio Perez was doing. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that goes. All right, let's have a look what tyres everyone's on. Okay, so sorry that I can't show you this because I'm pretty sure it's still broken. Yeah, I don't know why it's showing soft tyres for everyone. Let's see. Yeah, this is all wrong, so let's just ignore that. Right, so we've got Perez out on mediums, Leclerc's out on mediums, then we've got everyone is out on mediums except for Bottas on softs, and then we've got Norris on inters. Sainz and Verstappen have come into the pit. So Norris, Stroll, Ricciardo on intermediates. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. Someone has crashed. Right, let's have a look at that later. Who's crashed? We've got who's in the barrier. I can't tell. Oh, it looks like it's Tsunoda at turn number 10. Either he's crashed or he is parked up. So we'll have to wait and see. But Tsunoda's into the. Oh, also the other thing was Charles Leclerc. He was in wet conditions and he overshot his brake mark in the pit stop. Okay, so we got a full safety car, right? So it looks to be Tsunoda that has caused that full safety car. So let's just turn that there. Yeah, Tsunoda's crashed at turn number 10 or has parked up where he shouldn't have parked up. But yeah, Tsunoda's caused this safety car, and now that gives everyone a chance. Actually, this is not going to play into George Russell's favor. George Russell had a massive advantage. He was going 10 seconds faster than other drivers because he had warmed up tires. Like that's how big of a difference the temperature in your tires makes. And George Russell was exploiting that to his absolute advantage. But now the safety car is going to slow everyone down. Everyone's going to have cold tires, and everyone's going to they're going to be struggling quite a fair amount. And yeah. Okay, I'll just have a quick update on who's on what tyres. So we've got Norris and Ricciardo still on intermediates. Everyone else has pitted onto medium tyres, other than Valtteri Bottas, who's on a set of softs. We've got 43 minutes remaining of this race. We're not going to reach the 61 lap mark. And yeah. And yeah, Tsunoda went straight into the barrier. I think he locked up into turn number 10 and then into the barrier. So there we go. I will try and get some team radio if I can. But yeah. Can I leave the tyre on the... See, this isn't the best thing because you can't exactly tell which driver's which. So I think I'm just going to leave it and I'll let you know. But the only drivers that actually matter anymore... Well, Norris is coming into the pits. He's going to have... I'll tell you what tyres Norris and Ricciardo have when they come out. But I suspect they'll be on mediums as well. And it'll just be that. Also, guys, if you could subscribe, that would very much be appreciated. Yeah, we're getting close to... Well, we're not that close to our subscriber target, but 50k is like my thing, and that would be very cool to get. So there we go. And also, we're getting quite close to 2,000 likes as well. If you could smash the like button, that would be appreciated as well. Oh, did Russell come in for a second stop? I don't think he did. Oh, Russell did. He came in for a second pit stop. And Lando Norris is out on a fresh set of mediums. And Daniel Ricciardo is out on a fresh set of softs. Okay, so Ricciardo and Bottas are on soft tyres. Everyone else is on mediums. So that's the tyre information for you guys. Will DRS be enabled? I think the FIA will enable it at some point. I don't know if they have yet. But yeah, it'll only be a matter of time before it is enabled. Okay. Yeah. So the driver's just driving around on the safety car conditions. Really, there's not much else to it. We have 41 minutes remaining of this race. Let me know what your predictions are for the podium and who your driver of the day would be. I don't know actually who to say really. So yeah, let me know who your driver of the day would be, and yeah. Yeah, there's a time limit where the time limit is 40 minutes left. So unless we can finish all 20 laps, however many laps are left, 24 or something. Then yeah, who has pitted? Everyone is pitted. Everyone is out on a fresh set of mediums, other than Ricciardo and Bottas, who are on a fresh set of softs. Drive of the day is a safety car. Well, that probably could be true. Yeah. Also, I don't know why everyone isn't bunching up yet. Usually behind safety car conditions, everyone bunches up rather quickly, but no one seems to be bunching up. We've got some team radio from Sergio Perez, the current leader of the race. Let's have a listen.
Okay, everyone now on slicks. Daniel and Bottas on soft. Everyone else on medium.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. All right, yeah, now they're all just queuing up behind the safety car. It'll be a matter of time before all the drivers are there. But look at this, we've had 6 DNFs from today's race. So yeah, I mean, even if you started in 20th position, you still end up in 14th, and that's exactly what happened to George Russell. He started the race in the pit lane, and he's gained 6 positions, all due to DNFs. I mean, to be honest, even if the DNFs didn't happen, he still would have got those positions. But yeah, nevertheless, lots of drivers benefiting because of those retirements. I think the partner thing is the amount of point difference. I'm not exactly sure, actually. Let's just change it. I guess the most important would probably be the sector times, I guess. I'm not sure. Oh, we can't select the sector times for a safety car. That would be pretty interesting to watch. Yeah. Okay, we're getting close to now. Yeah. Don't think we got a safety car restart just yet. We'll probably find out in a couple of corners when the safety car is coming in. But yeah, don't think it will be on this occasion. Why can't Russell catch up? Mainly because overtaking around this circuit is pretty difficult. Once you get stuck behind a driver that doesn't make a mistake and is just consistently setting lap times, it becomes extremely hard to overtake. Oh, Sergio Perez is on the back of the safety car, just waving his hand around, be like, "Speed up, please, because this is way too slow and I don't have any tire temperature." Yeah, literally going down the straight, he's literally just waving his hand, telling this Bernd Mailander, the safety car driver, to just pick up the pace and drive a bit faster. I mean, I guess it's pretty easy to say when you're in an F1 car. But yeah. Also, while we're in safety car conditions, I might as well tell you a cool thing that F1 cars do under safety car conditions. So if you guys know that the current regulations are for a V6 engine, so that is 6 cylinders in a V configuration, what the teams can do under safety car conditions to save fuel, they can actually they can turn off a couple cylinders. They can be like, okay, we're only going to use 4 cylinders for now, because while we're in the safety car conditions, we're going to save some fuel, and we might as well there's no point to wasting that extra fuel, so they can, yeah, it's pretty interesting how they can do that. Yeah. All right, I'm going to check if we have some team radius, but we are still under safety car conditions, and it looks like we may have. Oh no, never mind. I think we might get a safety car restart this lap, though. We'll have to wait and see. Oh, also, DRS might actually be enabled now because we've had enough dry running for it to be safe to say. Safety car is in this lap, by the way, so let's just change this. Let's just turn off the safety car and we go. I'll turn it into green flag in like a second. Actually, no, it's probably obvious that it's safety car restart, but DRS could be enabled probably in the next couple of laps because, yeah, it's been dry for quite a while now, and yeah. See, okay, so what happened was Yuki Tsunoda, when he locked up and went straight into the barrier, then had his crash, he ended up, what he did was, he just tried and make the corner like continuously. His steering lock was all the way to the left. He was like trying to actively turn, even though the fact that he locked up. Whereas when Lewis Hamilton crashed at turn number 10, what he did was like, right, well, I'm not going to be able to make this corner, so I'm just going to abort the fact that I'm going to make this corner and just brake in a straight line. And then he didn't DNF, he had a broken front wing, so yeah, I guess that's just experience showing through for you. Yeah. All right. Yeah, so with the safety car has come in, I don't think anyone's made an overtake. In fact, Verstappen's lost 2 positions. He's lost 3 positions. So unless his GPS is broken, Verstappen's had something horrible happen to his car, or had a spin or something. I'm not sure. It looks like his GPS isn't broken. He's actually behind Vettel and Stroll and Ricciardo. How has that just happened? Max has crashed by the looks of it. Right, well, I will get a replay in a couple of seconds. Oh, he locks up at turn number 7. That's what happened. Yep, Verstappen locked up at turn 7, and then went straight on. Had to do a pirouette and come back on track. So yeah, I mean that's what happens when you're under safety car conditions. You're not got enough brake temperature, tire temperature. You just lock up and go straight on. And yeah. Aston Martins might actually get double points finished. I mean, look at this. We've got a Red Bull, then 2 Ferraris, 2 McLarens, 2 Aston Martins, and then a Red Bull. So, yeah, pretty nice in terms of the colours on the left side of the screen. But apart from that, Red Bull having a pretty horrible weekend. Well, Verstappen really. Perez is doing just fine. But Verstappen, issues in qualifying, issues in the race, not being able to do consistently, and yeah. Oh, Verstappen's back ahead of Stroll and Vettel in one move. How has he done that? And he's just lost out again. And he's okay. Verstappen's into the pits. Okay, so his GPS just broke before he came into the pits. So Verstappen's into the pits now, and he's either retiring or just I don't know exactly what he's doing. Also, Sergio Perez made a safety car infringement. I'm not 100% sure what that was. It might have been he went ahead of the safety car while like under safety car conditions. But not sure. Yeah, looks like Verstappen is coming into the pits though. Yeah, he said he flat spotted his tires. So he's back on the track now, but he's in last position. So yeah, not a great weekend for Max Verstappen. Leclerc though, purple first sector looks like to be catching up to Sergio Perez, and also the lap times have dropped. It's 1:56 now. And DRS should probably be coming online in a couple of minutes. So there we go. George Russell limping around with a puncture. So it's just going from bad to worse for George Russell. Yeah, he's got a puncture, so that's why he is behind Max Verstappen, and Verstappen overtook him basically immediately. We're probably going to get if we get another yellow flag because of George Russell's puncture and he's driving so slowly. I mean, that would probably be like the record for the most safety cars in a race, or virtual safety cars in a race, maybe. Oh, Verstappen had a massive lockup. Like, it was probably a solid 50, 100 meters of just pure locked up front tires and smoke. Yeah. Let's have a look at Russell's GPS. Yeah, he's still going around, so it's fine, but he's got a puncture, so he can barely drive. It should be all right by the time Russell gets to the pit lane. Perez and Leclerc would have lapped him. Oh my god, it's very much. If this was the last lap of the race and Russell was in the lead, then it would exactly be like the Cars scene at the start of the Cars franchise, like the first film. But yeah, I mean that's completely irrelevant. But basically, George Russell will probably get to the pit lane by the time that Perez and Leclerc get round to him. So it should be fine. No need for a yellow flag or a virtual safety car. But which tyre has got a puncture, I'm not 100% sure by the looks of it. I can't exactly tell really, but he's driving around extremely slowly. Oh, it's his rear right that's got a puncture. Yeah. And the issue is when you've got a rear right puncture, your floor, which is very important this year because of all of the downforce that we generate from the diffuser, what happens is you can tear up the floor. If your rear tyre kind of like disintegrates, you can tear all of your floor up. Which ends up, damaging your performance in the long run. And it looks like he had a little bit of contact with Mick Schumacher. He banged wheels with Mick Schumacher and then got a puncture. And Mick Schumacher's also into the pits now. So yeah, It's just going, yeah, horribly. I don't exactly know what happened between Perez and the safety car, but there was just a notice on the race control thing that there has been a safety car infringement with Sergio Perez, and the stewards are going to look at it after the race. So yeah. DRS has not been enabled yet, so don't know exactly why that isn't the case. I guess there's damp patches, but I mean the FIA should really enable DRS. Also, there are 28 minutes remaining of the race. I should probably put a timer up because that might be a bit more useful. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, that's the race clock timer. So when that timer goes to 0, everyone finishes their current lap that they're on, I think, and maybe does one more. But that's the end of the race. All right, Leclerc actually getting on the back of Sergio Perez, and when the DRS does get activated finally, when it finally does, I don't know why the FIA haven't done it yet. It could probably bring some spice into this race. Hamilton trying to overtake Vettel, Perez trying to defend from Leclerc. Yeah, could definitely be pretty interesting. Ooh, the track is just the map is just lit up. 0.6 is the gap between Perez and Leclerc. I mean, if the overtake doesn't happen without DRS, it looks like it might happen. Yeah, if the overtake doesn't happen with DRS, it might happen without it because Perez. It looks like Leclerc's just got so much pace. He doesn't even need to try and overtake Sergio Perez. He doesn't even need DRS to try and overtake him. So let's see what he can do. 0.3 is the gap now coming out of the final corner. Here he goes then, down the start-finish straight. Charles Leclerc on the tail of Sergio Perez. He sets the fastest lap of the race in the process. Not close enough for a move at turn number 1. We'll see what he can do at the next couple of corners. Looks like he made a little bit of a mistake there as well. Dropped back slightly. Sergio Perez has come over the radio and said, I'm having issues with the drivability of the engine. So drivability of the engine basically means that you don't know consistently how much power the engine's going to give to you. And yeah, so if you don't know how much power the engine's going to give to you, you can't be confident when you put the foot down to try and accelerate out of a corner. So yeah, that's slowing him down a bit, but I guess it's just more of a trust thing. He's just going to have to send it really, because if he doesn't, then Charles Leclerc is going to catch up, and Sergio Perez has fought back. Fastest first sector for him, and he's extended the gap out further than a second. Just marginally, it's now 1 millisecond. Oh, DRS has been enabled as well. All right. So this is getting interesting. The DRS detection point, in fact, is right now. And it looks like Charles Leclerc just got the DRS detection point. So that should be good for the next straight at now down turn number between turn number 13 and 14. DRS has been enabled for the first time. It's been used by Charles Leclerc. And yeah, this is interesting now. Let's see. Max Verstappen with the fastest lap of the race, going 0.4 faster than his teammate. Oh no, not 4. Yeah, 0.5. Sorry, half a second faster than his teammate. Absolutely ridiculous pace there from Max Verstappen. Don't know exactly what to say. Also, guys, if you haven't hit the like button, please be sure to do so. Hopefully, we can hit 2,000 likes. That would be absolutely wonderful. Yeah, Norris also catching up to the back of Carlos Sainz. There is a potential if Norris has some overtaking opportunity to capitalize on that and get ahead of Carlos Sainz. That would be Lando Norris podium, which would be great to see. And then Perez fights back. He goes quicker than Max Verstappen on his next lap, and now Verstappen has got the fastest first sector. So it's going to be very much cat and mouse between these two drivers, and we'll see what these two can do. Perez and Leclerc getting extremely close here, going down the straight. He's got DRS this time round, not close enough for a move just yet. We'll see what happens. All right. Yeah. We've probably got another 12 laps or so of racing. We're not going to get to the end of the race because there's a countdown timer, of course. Once that timer hits 0, we just do one more lap, and that is that. Also, look at this track evolution, absolutely ridiculous. Verstappen improves by 0.6 of a second in one lap. So yeah, very crazy indeed. We'll see what the top two at the front can do, what Perez and Leclerc are doing. Leclerc is getting closer and closer to Sergio Perez, but still not that close to get, not close enough to make an overtake just yet. There are three DRS zones around this circuit, so it should be in his favor to try and make an overtake, but yeah. Okay, yeah, I don't know what else much to say. Right. Yeah, Leclerc two tenths of a second behind, in fact. Okay, so going down this straight, he pulls out to the side, backs out of it. Firstly, making that move is extremely risky, mainly because of the fact that the dry line that everyone is driving on and setting fast lap times on is only the actual racing line. Everything else is still pretty damp. So making an overtake offline is extremely difficult, and Sergio Perez knows that. So he's just going to stick on the racing line, and he's saying to Leclerc, well, you can go off track and go on the wet parts of the track if you want and try and overtake me, but I'd rather just stay on the dry bit for myself. And yes, that's working out for him so far. We've got 20 minutes left on this race. We'll wait and see what happens with Sergio Perez and Charles Leclerc for the lead of this race. I'll have a quick look at the tyres, but by the looks of it, everyone is on a set of mediums. We got Verstappen, Mick Schumacher, George Russell on a set of softs. So is Daniel Ricciardo, but everyone else in the race is still on the mediums. Oh, and so is Valtteri Bottas on softs. Yeah. Right, so coming out of the final corner, we got Sergio Perez in the ahead of Charles Leclerc. Leclerc's well within DRS range, and he's using it to his advantage here. Tucks into the slipstream and the DRS into turn number 1, onto the brakes. Both drivers just getting through cautiously, trying to stay on that dry line as much as possible. And Leclerc thinking about a move probably into turn number 7, as that is the best overtaking opportunity because you've got the longest straight building up to it. And yeah, we'll wait and see what he can do. So here he comes down through turn 6. 4 tenths is the gap. 3? No, yeah. Backs out once again. Yeah, Charles Leclerc not getting close enough to make an overtake, so don't know exactly what he's doing. Well, to be honest, he's not getting close enough to make an overtake, and even if he does, it's getting it's a very risky maneuver to try and make. We saw Max Verstappen, he was on the inside line, and he had a massive lockup, like 50 meters of lockup is absolutely horrific. And he had to go in to get another pit stop because of how bad that lockup was. So, yeah, I think it's fair enough not going for a move just yet. It probably be better to wait for a mistake or something. But we'll have to wait and see. Okay, yeah, it probably is 2 a.m. So yeah, go ahead and enjoy your sleep. And yeah, I'll see you around for the Japanese Grand Prix. All right, let's see. I mean, the gap once again is between Leclerc and Perez. It's just hovering pretty much just the same. It's just not getting any closer, any larger. Verstappen makes an overtake on Kevin Magnussen, so nice job there. But yeah, he's got 7.5 seconds to catch up to Valtteri Bottas. Russell overtakes Schumacher. They had a bit of contact before, but I think they made it through this time cleanly. And Mick Schumacher lives to fight another day. All right. Yeah, once again, Leclerc still half a second behind going down turn number 7. I guess we could probably have a look at the top speeds, but I mean, let's see. Wait, did I just click past them? Oh, yeah. Oh, I just clicked past it again. Oh my God. There we go. So the top speeds, Charles Leclerc's 396 down the straight, and Sergio Perez is 284. So that's a difference of what, 12 kilometers an hour. Usually DRS gives you about 15 or so. So it looks like the Red Bull have got slightly less downforce than Ferrari, and yeah, that's why Perez is able to hold that narrow advantage over Leclerc. Because even if you have less downforce, you can't overtake through most of the corners here at Singapore. And looks like Leclerc just made a mistake, in fact. Yeah. Leclerc just made a mistake. The gap's now 1.3 seconds, so that is rather unfortunate. We'll wait and see what he can do. And Sergio Perez dips into the 1 minute 49s on his set of medium tyres, doing a very nice job there. It might not have even been a Leclerc mistake. I mean, Perez just absolutely deployed all of the. I mean, he must have deployed all of the battery or something, but a 1 minute 49.5 is crazy. That's a full second faster than Charles Leclerc. Yeah. Yeah, there are 12 laps left of the race, but there are only 17 minutes left on the clock. And with each lap taking 1 minute and 50 seconds, we're probably only going to get, what's that? Like 9 laps of racing. So, yeah, that is what it is. I mean, to be honest, it doesn't really matter. 9 laps, 12 laps, it's pretty much the same. Okay, yeah, there really isn't much to talk about, to be honest. Yeah, usually I don't really struggle about what to talk about, but this is not being the most exciting of races. So, yeah. Oh, actually, that is a good point. Verstappen closed up the gap from 7.5 seconds to 3.5 seconds on Valtteri Bottas. So potentially by the end of the race, he could probably make an overtake and score 1 point or a point or two. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's not really in max. It doesn't really matter to him. Leclerc though sets the fastest lap of the race, goes just slightly quicker than Sergio Perez. A nice job there from himself. Yeah, but the gap still remains at 1.4 seconds because both of them are setting pretty much identical lap times, which yeah, definitely doesn't help when trying to catch up to someone. What's the penalty on the safety car issue for Perez? I mean, I'll have a look, but I don't think there's any penalty. They might investigate it at the end of the race, but yeah, there's been no information from that. So yeah, we've got some information. We've got some team radio, sorry, from Valtteri Bottas. Let's have a listen. Oh, why is it not playing? There we go.
Gasly 2.5 ahead. We need to get him.
Trying.
Okay, so Bottas needs to overtake Pierre Gasly. The gap between himself and Gasly is now 0.8 of a second. And yeah, we'll wait and see what we can do to catch up. Ooh, yeah, right. We've got 14 minutes left of the Singapore Grand Prix. Ooh, okay. Let's see what else is there. Right. Incredible race for Aston Martin and McLaren. Yes, actually, this is going to help Aston Martin in their little. Actually, they're fourth and fifth position. Wow, I didn't notice Ricardo got that high up. But the 18-point gap that they had to Alpine is definitely going to be closed up, and I think McLaren are going to have the lead over Alpine in the Constructors' Championship. So double DNF for Alpine, McLaren capitalizing on that. Also, Verstappen's just overtaken Valtteri Bottas into turn number 14. So yeah, nice job there from from Max Verstappen. He just got a better exit than Valtteri Bottas and swooped past him on the next corner. So Verstappen up into 10th, and Bottas had to get that position on Pierre Gasly. Unfortunately, cannot do that anymore because Max Verstappen is in the way. But McLaren now, if it as it stands, if the Constructors' Championship will be, they'll probably be a couple points ahead now than Alpine, so they will get that 4th place position. I think it's actually quite a lot of money. It's like 6 million euros or something that you get for finishing 3rd instead of 4th, maybe. So I think it might be like 4 million euros or something like that, or something along those lines, from finishing 5th instead of 4th. From finishing 4th instead of 5th, sorry. Yeah. Oh, Verstappen's already overtaken Pierre Gasly, so yeah. But there's 5-second gap to Lewis Hamilton with only 12 minutes remaining. That's 6 laps, I think. It's going to be extremely difficult for him to catch up. We'll wait and see what he can do, though. And yeah. Right, whoops. So I'm back. The gap is extended to 2.3 seconds now. Yeah, don't know exactly what's going on there. Max Verstappen, wow, he's closed that gap up. I went for like 2 seconds, and the gap was previously 5 seconds. It's down to 3. So, wow, yeah. We got Max Verstappen now closing up on Lewis Hamilton. Probably could get 8th position. And if he's closing up that quickly, he could probably catch up to Vettel as well. So 7th place is on the cards for Max Verstappen. And yeah. Right, Lando Norris is 3 seconds behind Carlos Sainz. It's probably going to be a bit of a tough ask for him to catch up, considering Sainz is setting faster lap times and he does have the faster car. But we know Lando Norris can do many great things in that McLaren. So we'll wait and see what happens with now 10 minutes left on the clock of this Singapore Grand Prix. Why is Singapore hard to drive? Well, it's great that you asked that. So Singapore is hard to drive mainly because of the fact that the barriers are so close. The margin for error is pretty small. So usually when you have loads of tarmac runoff, say at like the French Grand Prix, if you make an error, you just go, okay, well, you just go into a wall. No, sorry, not into a wall. You just go off onto the runoff and it doesn't really matter. You don't lose that much time. Whereas at Singapore, if you make a mistake, you're into the wall and there's a chance you could DNF or you get some damage. Usually on other circuits, if you make a mistake, you're onto the gravel and you lose a bit of time, but it's not catastrophically deadly or anything. So yeah, that's that. That's what makes it difficult. And then the other part is that you have to be extremely precise because the track's rather narrow as well. So and you want to maximize that time. So I mean, yeah. So it's mainly, if you think about it, usually your aim. So say if, like, this is kind of an analogy, I guess. when you're driving a car and say you've got like a cup of coffee in like the cup holder, your aim when you drive a car, the aim is to just keep the coffee inside the cup, and not let it spill anywhere. Whereas an F1 driver's aim to of the exact same thing is to try and get that coffee all the way to the edge of the coffee cup and keep it there, but do not let it spill over one tiny little bit. So yeah, I mean they're completely different things when we talk to like why it's so difficult to drive around Singapore, because yeah, it's such a difficult task of managing a Formula One car and its limit. Also, looks like Leclerc just completely dropped off. 3.2 seconds is the gap right now. So yeah, the odds of him catching up in the last 8 minutes is extremely difficult. Verstappen now 5/10 behind Lewis Hamilton. He's got the DRS. He's a man on a mission, and it looks like he'll accomplish that mission very, very soon. He's now coming through the third sector. He's got the start-finish straight ahead of him. We'll see what he can do into turn number 1. All right. Yeah. All right, what else is there going on? We got Verstappen half a second now behind Hamilton. Hamilton 1 second behind Vettel. This might be a bit of an issue because if Hamilton gets DRS off Vettel, then Verstappen's going to have a tough time getting a speed differential down the straight to make an overtake. So, yeah, it'll be pretty interesting to see how that goes. And Sergio Perez with the fastest lap of the race. So if he carries on doing like this, he's going to get 26 points. And then I'll actually have a look at the standings. But by the look, I think what I remember from the last time the standings were that Sergio Perez was actually Sergio Perez is 9 points behind Charles Leclerc. So I think you get 8 points more for winning, and then so in fact, if it continues this way and Sergio Perez has tied with and Sergio Perez gets fastest lap, then he will be tied on points with Charles Leclerc. So that's pretty interesting. I guess that just shows you how much dominance Red Bull have in terms of like on race day, their strategy and their performance and their like tire management and race car, like how quality of a race car their the RB22 is very astonishing. Yeah, Sergio Perez might get a penalty though. So it was a safety car infringement. I'm not sure exactly what it was. If I'm gonna guess something, it was he came alongside the safety car and started waving at it, and when he was waving at the safety car, he may have by accident just gone slightly ahead of it. That might have been the infringement. I'm not 100% sure. So yeah. All right. They said they would investigate it at the end of the race. So yeah. And Christian Horner was asked about this. He's like on the pit wall, and one of the like Sky people asked him, "I don't even understand why it's been called in front of the stewards, but he's doing a wonderful job out on track there. Charles Leclerc had one wobble which broke DRS, and since then he's been incredible." So yeah, Christian Horner thinks it's stupid to take it in front of the stewards, but yeah, of course Christian Horner's going to think that because he obviously wants all of the points and he wants his driver to end up winning the race. So I mean that's pretty obvious, isn't it? And if you ask Mattia Binotto, then he'll be like, "Oh my god, he should be disqualified. He should be given a ban for next race." You know, like it's absolutely horrific. Charles Leclerc should go on and win. But of course, I don't think it will be unfair because it was under safety car conditions. It didn't actually make any impact. But I'm not exactly sure what the infringement was, so I can't make too many comments. Yeah, the tires. Everyone is on. Okay, so we've got Ricciardo, Verstappen, Bottas, Mick Schumacher, and George Russell on soft tires. Everyone else is on mediums, and George Russell's on a fresh set of soft tires because I don't know what happened, but George Russell's just had a horrible day, like extremely horrible. He's about to get lapped twice. Like if he makes a little bit of a mistake and just has to do like a quick 360, he will be lapped twice. But the thing is, he's going to set the fastest lap of the race. He's got fastest first sector, fastest second sector. So I don't know exactly what they're gaining, because you only get the fastest point. You only get the top 10 point if you are in the if you're in the top 10. So yeah, I didn't get what they're achieving by that, but they should probably just retire George Russell's car, because I think if you retire the car, you can get an engine. Oh no, you can get a gearbox change without a penalty. So you might as well just take that, because George Russell driving around, about to get lapped twice, in 14th position, is not doing Mercedes' brand reputation any good. Or just that Mercedes engine any good either. Like, there's no point wearing out the engine if you're down in 14th place, and you're meant to be up in, like, well, to be fair, Hamilton's in 8th place. He's probably meant to be a bit higher up as well. But Aston Martin and McLaren have just had an absolutely solid weekend. Yeah, I don't exactly know how this timer procedure works. So once the timer runs out, I think we do one more full lap, and then the race ends. So I will let you know after I figure out how it works. But yeah, currently it's a three-way battle. For 7th position, we've got Vettel, Hamilton, and Verstappen, all trying to get that 7th place spot. Vettel currently holding it, Hamilton in 8th, and Max Verstappen in 9th. The gap's getting very, very close indeed, but still they're in a DRS train, which means making any sort of overtake becomes extremely tough. And Vettel's also picking up a bit of a tow as well off his teammate Lance Stroll, so that's definitely helping him out. So we'll just have to wait and see. George Russell, though, sets a 1:42.4. That's nearly 2 seconds faster than Sergio Perez. Admittedly, Perez has got some old medium tyres. But yeah, nevertheless, a very nice lap from George Russell. We'll wait and see what they end up doing. No, you don't get a point. If you have to be in the top 10 to get the fastest lap point. You can't get it. If you're in 14th position and you have the fastest lap of the race, you don't get the top 10. You don't get that extra point. So there we go. Leclerc very much, it looks like he's given up. He's 5 seconds behind now. Yeah. Even if there's a 5-second time penalty, I mean, why don't you just try and stay behind him within 5 seconds, even if just in case there's a 5-second time penalty? You might as well. Okay, so there's a minute left of the race. So I think what they do is, once the timer runs out, they do another lap. Right, I guess we'll just have to find out and wait and see. Right. So let's see now. We're nearly 12,000 people watching, guys. We're very close to 2,000 likes. And if we get some more subscribers as well, maybe 46,000, that would be absolutely wonderful. So yeah, go ahead and subscribe and hit the like button. That would very much be appreciated. So the timer has run out. So I think the drivers now just go and finish their lap, or maybe do one more. I guess you can just tell from Sergio Perez's sector times, to be honest. All right. Vettel is Verstappen overtook Hamilton, but Vettel is still being able to defend against him. So yeah, that is that. Drivers still just going around now. They'll probably be finishing their laps any second. Yeah. That has been a pretty well, it's been a slow burning Singapore Grand Prix. Hamilton made a mistake, by the way, so that's how Verstappen got past. So yeah, pretty slow burning Singapore Grand Prix, and it looks like, yeah, there's not really much else to say, to be honest. Lots of different things going on. I mean, McLaren scoring very good points. Same for Aston Martin, and then yeah, very good race by Sergio Perez as well. I mean, he's managed it. I mean, we give him a bunch of, like, we're saying the race is boring and stuff, but Sergio Perez has done an incredible job of leading the race from start to finish with all the safety cars and virtual safety cars and everything. Yeah, absolutely incredible. And I think that is the race, fellas. Let's just have a look at these sector times. Oh, Sergio Perez. Yeah, yellow everywhere. Charles Leclerc, he is also yellow everywhere. Yeah, I think it is. Oh no, you do one more lap. So this is the final lap of the race. Sergio Perez just trundling around. Well, not trundling around. He was driving around pretty fast. But the race isn't over just yet. Perez is still yet to do the final sector for the third time. And there we go. And then that will be the actual end of the Grand Prix officially. Yeah, Vettel doing a good job though, defending against Max Verstappen. I mean, Verstappen really doesn't need it. But there we go. Verstappen just overtakes Vettel down into turn number 7. Will Vettel fight back? I mean, he's side by side with him, but yeah, no, Vettel was much earlier on the break compared to Verstappen, and Verstappen is ahead in 7th place. Very unfortunate. So here we go. Sergio Perez coming out of the final 2 corners. He's managed this race absolutely brilliantly. And here he is crossing the line for the Singapore Grand Prix, taking his first victory at this track. Charles Leclerc crossed the line in 2nd position. He started the race on pole position, had a bad start, and has been in 2nd place ever since. Carlos Sainz up into 3rd on the race start and has been staying there as well. Then we got the 2 McLarens in 4th and 5th. Stroll in 6th, Verstappen in 7th. I mean, he only gained 1 position in the entire race. It was very much up, down for Max Verstappen. And then we've got Vettel in 8th, Hamilton in 9th, Pierre Gasly in 10th. So those are the point scorers for the Singapore Grand Prix today. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I really do appreciate all your support. We're like, 18 likes away from 2,000 likes. If you could go ahead and do that, that would be wonderful. And if you could go ahead and subscribe as well, that would be absolutely great. But yeah, it's been a pleasure commentating to you guys and doing all of the quizzes at the start of the stream as well. And yeah, I hope to see you around for the Japanese Grand Prix. Hopefully that race is a bit more exciting. I'll be a bit more exciting as well because there'll be stuff going on. But apart from that, yeah, I will see you guys in a week's time. Yeah, have a nice morning, day, afternoon, evening, or night, depending on where you are in the world. And yeah, see you later. Cheers, fellas.